Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another show with me, Ren26. This is Rencast, and we're going to be casting another game of NS2 today. We've got Ant versus Envy, and this is a bit of an impromptu cast. We're going to be going live soon, and actually, I wasn't aware of this match until about 15 minutes ago. So this is going to be a nice, quick game. I've set up my cast. We're ready to go. We're just organising some of that stuff now. So it's going to be Ant versus Envy, which means a Division 1 game, and something that's a little bit out of the ordinary is it's going to be a Week 4 match. I'm not 100% sure why we're playing a Week 4 match so early, but I predict it's probably because Envy is an Australian team, and therefore it's a lot harder for them to work with the Europeans, find specific times when they can play. So if they can get their games in nice and early, it means they can guarantee that they actually get played. So that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to check out the two teams just now. So we've got Envy as the Australian team. I've casted them before, I believe. Certainly in the past, maybe not recently actually. So I'm just going to connect to the server now. Excellent. So Envy's team is Nez, MF, Scatter, Bonage, Woot, Outsider, Bakar, and Matsor. All of those guys are Australians, and a lot of those guys have played in the Australian national team, and they're some of the best Australian players they have. So. And for Ant, we've got a more European team. We've got a bunch of Swedish, Finnish, a couple of Germans maybe, a couple of UK people. Quite a large team actually. A lot of current members, some past members as well. So probably just save the rundown to be actually connected to the server. So again, this is a bit of an impromptu cast. So it's going to be Ant versus Envy. It should be pretty fun. It's a Division 1, so it's one of those higher skill games, which is nice. And that's certainly going to be coming on just now. Later on this evening I'm going to be casting about 8 PM or whatever it is. I'll put up the time afterwards, set up an event, so you shouldn't miss out on that if you're part of the NSL event, which you probably are because you would have struggled to find this cast without that. So I'll stick up the times for that. That's later this evening, or this morning if you're American. And then tomorrow I've got Snells versus Titus. No, that's today. No, I'm getting something wrong. Tomorrow I've got another Division 1 game, around about the same time as today. And then potentially casting with Wasabi on Natural Selection 2 for the Snell Saunderman game, which we haven't scheduled yet, but that's what he wants to do, so that would be good. So there could be 4 games coming up this weekend, depending on when that 4th game is actually scheduled for. Could be this weekend, might not be. I've got a game on Monday as well. I've got something wrong. I've got something wrong in my head. But that's alright. So it looks like a lot of the Ant guys are actually ready. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. So obviously we're just kicking off the weekend with some casts here. I did see some generic gameplay, stuff like that, NS2 Twitch. I don't think I've seen any casts today, apart from Vindaloo. I think Vindaloo casted a couple of games and I missed out on those. Have been having issues with Twitch actually. So there was an update to Twitch. Not 100% sure what the changes are because I've been struggling to log in. So they made some changes. I think there's some kind of chat groups. You can now chat within different groups. Not just the channel you're watching, which should be pretty good. There may have been some infrastructure changes as well because I'm struggling to log in with Chrome. I can log in with Firefox, which means I can edit all the stuff that I need to and have that administration, but I'm using a different browser to usual. Otherwise everything's fine. Sometimes I was lagging to Twitch, at least receiving a stream. Looks like everything's fine when it comes to sending, though. I've got 0 dropped frames out of 20,000, so that's pretty good. So everything should be fine. Any technical issues, I feel like I will probably be blaming Twitch, though, because they have made certain changes, and they really have got to make changes, though, because they bloomed in popularity last year. I've got to imagine that they're a lot bigger than they ever expected. Stuff like League of Legends always has 100,000 people. Dota 2, stuff like this is always up there. And then you got those mega famous Twitch people, Man versus Game, those kind of people who as soon as they stream they get a few thousand viewers, and after a couple of hours they got about 10,000, and it doesn't matter what game they play. They've always got a bunch of people, and then they get a lot of money out of it. They've got subscribers, stuff like that. So you've got this whole setup where there's a huge amount of popularity. People really like this website. People really like Twitch at the moment, and you've got to imagine it's going to keep growing. To be honest, as more people find out about it, so that's good news. So the maps for this week, which is technically week 4, although we aren't actually in week 4 yet. is going to be Biodome and Summit. So some pretty standard maps, actually very similar maps. So Summit's very similar to this. That's a terrible line. So you've got this kind of diamond shape. It's a little bit funkier in design within the center, so that's not quite the same as Summit there. But overall, it's pretty much this diamond shape, and then the RTs are on each section here, on the corners and all the sides. And Summit's pretty similar. Overall, Biodome is kind of bigger. Some of these vents are a little bit more helpful. It's hard to call it. I haven't seen the map played too much, but some of these vents can be quite useful for getting through. So you've got from platform to essentially the middle of the map, which is just pretty nice. Then you've got this upper section, which is you can run about up here, and it's quite hard to hit skulks through. So there's certainly some interesting plays you can make. You've also got falls. One of the most popular plays we see is a gorge tunnel to falls. Now you can stick a gorge tunnel at the back of this central harvester, set up a crag, a whip, blah blah blah, whatever you want. You've got the gorge as well, so maybe some hydras, some clogs. And you can get a harvester up without any T-res for the sisting. Or you can stick up a gorge tunnel in here, clog wall this, because this is, I think, the only entrance that the Marines can use to get in. I believe that's slanted in just the way they can't quite jump that. So then you clog this up, make it very difficult for them to get to the tunnel in this section, and you can essentially have a tunnel from Atmosphere Exchange in the north to Falls, connecting these two up and making it very easy to hold different sections of the map. Some other plays we see with gorge tunnels, sometimes you see the filtration. I'm doing this all wrong. Yep, filtration tunnel. So you've got this harvester here. Atmosphere Exchange is the common spawn for the aliens. It's the only one they get because the Marines always spawn in reception and you get those cross spawns. So you've got a filtration harvester and an Agri Labs harvester that the aliens are going to be going for nice and soon. And you get the tunnel up infiltration. Sometimes you see that with the connection to Agri Labs all the way through here, creating that shortcut and also providing infestation. So that could be a secondary infestation with assists or a primary infestation and saving you some money on the T-res. So a couple of cool options there. You see some pretty good aggression from the Marines. Usually you see a pretty standard 2-2 split, and then maybe 3 on the right hand side, so you can get 2 into falls, 1 to just cap and hydroponics. And then you get some small engagements spread out across the map, and the aliens, they get a lot of choice how they want to play it. They can just maybe just crush seeding, so get the 5 skulks through, crush seeding. Obviously you've let guys come through here and here. They're going to build up and push on. You've got to worry about that and fall back and try and cut them off. But if you can get down a nice early extractor, that can be very valuable, especially if you syst up Agri Labs. That way you only have to control this section of the map, and that's a lot easier to hold from seeding. So if you crush seeding, you might want to just hold that section. And similarly on the other side as well, but it's less favourable to push canopy than seeding. You've got 2 entrances to seeding. As you can see, you've got this left section, which is mostly a wide corridor, but it's got a little bit of cover on the sides, and then it opens up quite nicely. You've got a second entrance from the central area, and a third entrance which is coming in from hydroponics. So seeding's a nice attack area, canopy not so much. You've only got 2 entrances. One of these is definitely a long-range choke point, kind of similar, so overall it kind of matches up similarly. This is quite a nice thing to hide on, so you can sort of sit up here as a skulk, see through, try and bait round, wait for your teammates, and then pop round and go for some attack. So we are going to be playing with the balance mod. The balance mod is something we've implemented. It's an evolving mod, which means it's going to be changing over the course of the weeks to adapt to certain things that people think aren't quite right. Maybe they're a little bit overpowered, a little bit too difficult to deal with. But overall, the balance mod is pretty strong. The overall changes essentially are cheaper upgrades, so lifeform upgrades like Skulk upgrade and Lurk upgrade, something like that. It's a lot cheaper for the aliens. Biomass upgrades are a lot cheaper as well. The shell, spur, veil upgrades, the actual chambers themselves, the things you need 3 of to get the maximum upgrade, those are a lot cheaper as well. And overall it's about a 25% cost to all upgrades. The purpose of this is to make the aliens a little bit stronger at the later stages of the game. Obviously once the weapons 3 comes up, the armor 2, Marines are very strong, very difficult to deal with, and if you haven't got any upgrades, you're pretty much at a loss, you're at a huge disadvantage. So and we saw that a lot, was alien teams, even though they were doing quite well, could not afford stuff like leap, stuff like Bile Bomb was maybe the first one you'd go for. Umbra, though, was certainly sometimes out of the question, despite having played well. Now that they're a lot cheaper, you'll see a lot more Umbra. And it just helps the aliens stay in the fight as long as they're playing well. Sometimes we saw alien teams that were doing well but couldn't keep up because the upgrades were a little bit too expensive. So the mod is going to be in there to deal with that. As compensation, so the aliens aren't just straight up stronger, we've got an increase in cost for stuff like the Crags, the Shades and the Shifts. They're ever so slightly more expensive now, about 30% more expensive. So you're looking at about 13 T-res for both, stuff like whips and Crags. That's about a total of 26 to maybe hold Agri-Labs with a Crag and a whip. So that's quite expensive. And you really have to reconsider that kind of stuff early on, where that extra 6 T-res investment can be a little bit too much. That can be a whole harvester almost. Other than that, Mucous Membrane has been swapped from Armor Regen to Health Regen. Not sure why, not sure what the purpose of that is. Maybe it's because the Armor Regen is... it's a lot more powerful. Armor is essentially more valuable by about 2 times. So being able to recover armor is maybe a little bit too much. Other changes, actually probably the biggest behind all those upgrade cost changes, is the fact that the Fade initial blink energy cost is reduced. So when a Fade wants to blink, he's got to start that initial blink, and that's going to cost quite a lot. But that's actually been reduced. The amount that it costs has been reduced. The rest of it's not changed, so obviously as you hold down the blink and you travel around the map, that amount's the same. But it's the initial blink cost that's been reduced. What this means is that when you're in combat, which is where you're most likely to be using a lot of blinks, you'll be consuming less energy, and you'll be allowed to stay in the fight slightly longer. Especially if you're not taking much damage, which should make Fades a lot better at exactly what they're designed to be doing, which is winning fights. Especially if they're not taking any damage. The whole purpose of the Fade is to do huge amounts of damage, clear up Marines, make it very hard for them to push, stuff like that, just to win combat and be that anti-infantry unit. And with the increase, with the higher energy cost in pub play or whatever else it was before the balance mod, we were seeing them struggle with that, and Fades were a little bit lackluster in that regard. Other changes include a slight phase gate delay, so you got a 0.5 second increased delay from 0 to the phase gate. So when a Marine comes through a phase gate, that's got a 0.5 second delay before it can be reused by someone else. So you can't get 5 Marines from base through a phase gate within 1 second. It's going to take time. You've got to wait. There's a little bit of a sort of a queue there. So you can't just fill up a room with Marines after a beacon, for example. So that's very good, actually. That makes phase gates a little bit harder to hold, especially when aliens play well. Maybe they're grinding a gate. That's going to be helping them quite a lot. Which I think is good, because sometimes the phase gates are a little bit too easy to defend in certain situations, especially when the aliens might force a beacon and have had some kind of secondary plan to go onto the phase gate beyond the base. Other stuff is the decrease in max HP for the Cyst. So when it's fully mature, it's only going to have 450 HP. That's about 2 shotgun blasts and only 1 full rifle clip. But it takes much less time to get to that point. So Cysts now become fully mature a lot quicker, meaning that when you cyst up a room within about 60 seconds, it's going to be fully mature, and it's going to be a lot harder to kill those cysts and decyst the harvester, which is pretty good. It means you can maybe make slightly higher risks, take risks with harvesters that you wouldn't earlier on. It's just going to be harder to clear out the cysts and do huge amounts of damage to the harvester, but the max HP on those cysts is reduced, so later on it's a lot easier for Marines to just clear up rooms when they're actually clear of aliens. It can be quite exhaustive to just clear up cysts one by one, so reducing the max HP is a pretty good thing. Excellent. So it looks like we've got Ant already. Envy are just grabbing their last player. Not specifically sure who that will be. So yeah, let's go through Ant's team. So these are the European guys. They got a mixture of some Swedish, Finnish, UK, a couple of Germans. Not specifically sure what the flags will be for these guys here, but it looks like we've got Arjun Commander, who's actually got that commander badge. We've got D, Subsu, Vartija, Aitso and Sape. And for Envy, we've got 5 of the players at the moment One of them from Rays. So Rays is the other Division 1 team that's comprised mostly or fully of Australian players. That's a Lucas2616, so maybe using a Merc for this game. We've got Woot, Visor, Matsor, and Outsider, and we're going to be waiting for that last player. So it should be coming up nice and soon, it looks like. Just need to get that final player in the game. What bag are you talking about, Bonkers? Oh, that bag. That's just full of nonsense. That's not going anywhere. It's got a bag in the bag. It's especially not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. I'm not entirely sure we need 2 casters. Just going to check on that and see what's going on. Okay, so tell your buddies that this is going live because this wasn't advertised fully. This was a bit more impromptu than most casts, so I haven't had a full amount of time to prepare, but I'm pretty good to go. But in terms of setting up stuff so that people know that this is live, there's been a lot less awareness. So if you want to let your friends know if they enjoy these casts, definitely message them because they might not have got the message already. Overall, though, we've got a good weekend of NS2, so we've got some more games coming up. I'll actually go through some of those, assuming I don't miss the live call. So from my cast, we've got Saturday at 8 PM. It's going to be 9 PM CEST. We've got Godar versus Titus. I'm sure you can already see that that's going to be a great game. Tomorrow, we've got another match coming up about 1 PM CST, so just after lunchtime. We've got Virtual Dejection versus Rays. It's another EU versus Australian team. And then after that, on Monday, I've nabbed myself 2 hours later versus Radical, which should be a pretty good game. That's from Division 2B. That's Monday late on, so that's 9 PM CEST. Looks like we got our final player, which looks like it might be Scatter, which makes sense. So Envy's team at the moment is going to be Lucas from Rays. We've got Outsider, Scatter, Woot, Visor, and Matsor. Looks like people are pretty much ready. So Ant have been ready for a while. Looks like the 6th player for Envy's finally got into the server. And we may be going live very soon. So there's no mess up with the spawns on this. It's always an enforced spawn, so we shouldn't be having to restart the map every so often to compensate for any rules like that. So once we go live, everything's going to be ready and we're going to be good to go. Just reading the chat despite the fact I shouldn't. Looks like we are going live. Oh, that's the wrong button. Okay, Northern Spawn for Atmosphere Exchange. Got a nice early gorge from the aliens actually, and Armory for the Marines. We're looking like a 2-1 split with a couple of guys building for those early mines with the Armory and a gorge. I want to see what this gorge sets up the tunnel. I did talk about the tunnels briefly. Maybe from Filtration to Agri Labs could be one in falls, especially an indication actually is the fact that we haven't got a tunnel in base, so maybe Filtration Agri Labs connection. We've got Woot and Visor up against D, just outside of Canopy. Actually, there's 3 Skulks now up against 2 Marines. They're slightly separated, but D's got a nice position. Scatter goes down. That's an alien on the far side. And we might be looking at an early engagement. D has been parasited, but he gets a fantastic amount of damage onto Woot. We've got Visor and Matsor with full HP just around the corner. And these guys are going to find it very difficult to take on these Skulks that are on different directions now. Everyone's converging in. They do actually hunt down Matsor and take him out nice and early. Visor gets taken out and Woot as well. Fantastic job from the Marines clearing up those Skulks. And it looks like the Skulks haven't got any kills yet. They have nabbed a couple of parasites, but they do need to work out how they're going to clear these guys at falls and start doing some aggression before these guys get up a lot of extractors, especially maybe even in Agri Labs and falls that they're taking control of. We do have a Gorge without the Drifter support, building up Filtration Harvester. No tunnel, just a single Hydra. He's not been very useful so far. So I wonder what they're thinking about using his plays for. We've got Vartija and D now pushing straight into Filtration. They do have to deal with the Hydra behind them. We've got Visor and Woot the Skulks, who's coming actually in nice and fast. Actually takes out D very quickly. These guys were separated. You can see their positions there. They didn't have line of sight of each other. And great job now. Everything's been cleaned up. There's the Gorge to just heal everything back up to full. This is what they need to be doing. Clear up the Marines and then get the momentum and start turning it back around. Madzor there gets a nice Parasite and doesn't get finished off by Sape. Hydroponics is dropped. And then we've got the Skulks at this point, picking up their Celerity upgrade. We've got Woot and Visor together, and Madzor with low HP and falls as well. The Gorge is roaming around, still not dropped a tunnel, which is usually the most important aspect of that early Gorge. Visor, good job finding his way through to seeding. He's going to take on a 1v1 though, with Vartija coming around the corner, and he's actually got a guy at Hydroponics from the escape route on that direction. Vartija sneaking around, really good job picking up that kill without much effort at all. And another kill from D. The Marines are doing a really good job of spreading out across the map, building the extractors. You can see Hydroponics and platform going up, and the aliens struggling to form a response in this regard. There's the tunnel at Agri Labs. That's going to provide them with infestation and the opportunity to build up that harvester, and they do actually have a tunnel in base, so a bit of a conservative tunnel. You can see the Marines right now, they're all positioned in a stance to actually aggress. Actually, maybe at Hydroponics he's just going to defend, but we've got two pairs right now, all ready to push. Actually, it looks like D and Sape went in, but they maybe have caught out a little bit here with Woot, Visor and Madzor taking them out. Really good job from the Skulks, and not even losing any Skulks as well. Really good job. Here's a Gorge Agri Labs to slow down the aggression from Iso, and the guys at Falls weren't building or pushing at that point, so a little bit of a mismatch there where they maybe could have pushed at the same time to cause a little bit of extra damage. Drifter comes into Falls, it scouts all those Marines, but it takes a huge amount of damage and may be stuck inside seeding, and it may be killed, which is unfortunate for them. Iso kills Scatter, which is a Skulk who was actually with the Gorge here, so a good job from Iso to clear that guy. Visor needs to get the Parasite off and get healed back up to full, but we've actually got two Marines coming in from Falls. This is going to be a tough one. Looks like this Harvester could get taken out, especially with the fact that it's actually quite new, and therefore going to be struggling on that max HP with the lack of maturity. And also another problem is the fact that the aliens are not being aggressive at all at this point. No extractors have gone down. Actually, they have taken out one resource tower, probably the one over at seeding maybe at some point in the game. You've got Visor and Scatter, the two lurks finally coming out at the 4-minute mark. That's quite late. Visor's taking a huge amount of damage. He's trying to sneak in there around the side, but he takes a huge amount as well. You've also got mines to worry about. Here's one mine there, and that's Agri Labs Harvester is gone. They're going to have to find another thing to do. Maybe take platform. There's the tunnel. Smart decision. Replace the tunnel at Agri Labs. Just move on. Find a new thing to get done. Platform Harvester would be really valuable at this point. They do need to go aggressive though. You can see Canopy, Falls, all this stuff here is now all the Marines area. They can be on 6 extractors very soon. They've got weapons 1. They're going for early phase tech. And they've got armor 1 coming along as well. So everything's looking good for the Marines. They can even afford shotguns because they've got that 30 T-res saved. Good job from the aliens actually taking a position in Falls. Looks like they might have made the area a little bit vulnerable, allowing Woot to get through with a lurk and maybe harass the base and maybe just go for the extractor. Extractor's already low, and I'm not sure which extractor they did take out then. Vartija on the respawn. It looks like the lurk heard that and just wanted to fall back and check the area. Good job from Sape and D. They've actually been parasited. Here come the shotguns finally. There's the upgrade. The tunnel is in position. Madzor solo defense. You can see both these guys. He's got a drifter as well. But he's taking a lot of long-range damage without any support. He's going to find it very difficult. Here comes Visor from behind. Great job with the spikes. D goes down almost immediately. Really good job. Madzor is on position. Taken on Sape. Almost gets taken out. Visor with full HP. And there's the second lurk as well with even more HP than that. And this is looking slightly better for the aliens, but they do have to now worry about the fact that they've got phase gates coming out in such aggressive positions, for example, in Agri Labs, and another one in Falls would be very good as well, essentially crippling the aliens, making it very difficult for them to get through and do any aggression. You've got Iso and Subsu holding this position. You've got one of them building the phase gates actually fully built, but the power node was not finished, which is looking like a mistake. They do actually manage to tag it, but Subsu had to get out of position to take that. Scatter almost just finishes him off because of that. You've got 2 Skulks, 2 lurks in position here. Shotgun is in play, but he's actually only on 100 HP, no armor. Looks like the lurks are doing quite well, but the Skulks have been forced to retreat and got outside of the gorge. They're trying to heal those guys up. At this point, it's not looking good for the aliens. You can see the oh wow, he gets taken up by a mine, falls. That was about the only good thing they had going on, was that extractor harass. You can see one of the logs is actually caught out of position here. Does take out D, even though he did a shotgun. And Varcher as well, floating around at the exit to falls up on the northern side, and he's got Scatter and Visor nearby to try and deal with him. Scatter's doing a great job of keeping in place and actually doing quite a lot of damage. The medpacks are in position though as well, keeping him alive, and then Visor comes in. And that's 2 lurks that they had to deal with. There's a phase gate. Strange positioning up at Bamboo Pass, but it looks like it might actually work quite well. Yeah, compared to a false phase gate. Not sure the advantages there. We'll see how it works out for them. Overall, though, single Skulk onto Subsu. The Gorge comes in slightly late and doesn't manage to get many heal breaths off. And therefore, it's a 1v1 up against the Gorge. Subsu doesn't take him on, doesn't push that Gorge. Gorge does manage to get away. Matzo goes down. You can see the impact Armor 1, Weapons 1 is having at this point. Skulks are being taken out very quickly. Marines are not being killed. Nice range spit from outsider, killing one of those Marines. But they finish the phase gate, and this is an incredibly good triangle, as well as you got 2 Marines pushing him with a shotgun rifle combination. Commander's struggling at this point. You've got Lucas popping out the chair, popping back in, popping out again, taken out almost immediately. The Spurs are vulnerable if they don't clear these Marines out. Good range spiking. They are slightly separated, and it looks like they might have cleared these guys out. That's 1 shotgun down, but they've got 5 extractors to deal with, so in terms of money, the Marines have everything they need. They've got a good amount of upgrades. They do need to be working on weapons too in the next couple of seconds, because they can just about afford that almost very soon, depending on how many med packs they are choosing to spend in these fights. Nice try again. These guys coming straight into the base, trying to get down some spurs maybe. Or maybe just go for the eggs. Varcher doing a great job of taking these guys on with his shotgun there. Actually got a rifleman. Maybe looking to position himself on top of the shotgun to replace his rifle right now. Aitzo just comes out of the phase gate, taking on the Lurk. You can see the Lurk's pretty healthy. He's got Enzyme on top of him, increasing his movement speed and his attack speed. Those guys recycle these shotguns that were on the ground. So you can see Subsu's come back out with a shotgun now. You can see in range position there, you've got someone in egg, he's got 2 Skulks trying to range round these guys, trying to flank him actually. One of them gets through and a spike comes straight onto Aitzo, taking him out. I know you've got a Subsu now with a teammate behind him. Was slightly out of position, but now they're backing each other up nicely. You've got a shotgun in the front position and a rifle long range trying to scare off that Lurk who's doing ranged spike attacks within cover. Get another look at that. You've got outside of the Gorge trying to keep these guys alive as long as possible. Subsu's taking a huge amount of damage from the ranged attacks. Really good ranged attacks from Scatter. He almost finishes Subsu. No medpacks in position. There they are, recovering his HP. But all the while that fight's going along, you've got these guys harassing up infiltration. Weapons 2 was started. Very good job from the Marine Commander to be on top of that. And once that's come along, I think it's going to be even more difficult for the Lurks to win in these engagements. But that's actually good news. Actually, no, it's looking like the other way around. You've got Fades finally coming out. Matsor and Woot with the double Fade play with 2 Lurks, 2 Fades, and a Gorge in total, which means there's no Onos, which could be a huge issue later on. You've got a huge amount of infestation being placed in this section of the map. Loads of it infiltration on the way to platform as well, and Canopy's taking some damage from the infestation. Here's a big push from the aliens. You've got Woot coming in nice and early there, trying to just soak up some of the damage, actually evade some of it as well. And these guys have gone down, so there's the aggressive push from the Marines dealt with. And it's time for the aliens to just go aggressive and start doing damage, because at the moment all they're doing is defending. You've got Varcher and Subsu defending this corridor, making it very difficult for Woot to get back to the hive. He does get taken up for some fantastic shot. Matsor comes through as well. He does manage to get through just on time. Cat packs are being unlocked, going to make it very difficult for this, what is now a solo Fade, to try and clear these 2 Marines. They're doing a great job of staying alive. They are low on armor. Subsu's actually got his armor, but Varcher is very low HP and very vulnerable. Matsor does a great job of singling him out and taking him on. Shotguns were emptied and just about managing to clear those Marines. Here comes the D. He's into platform, clearing out that tunnel. The infestation was doing a little bit of damage to all this stuff. Matsor with the tunnel escape there. That's a Fade versus the shotgun. It does just about take him. Very nice. And this is why we need to see either weapons 3 or Armor 2 would be just as valuable as well, though. At this point, Ant are on 5 extractors, and they could rebuild Falls. They just need to send a guy to go do that, as long as he doesn't get taken out by the Fade at Bamboo Pass. But you can see they've got all 5 Marines in one position. Looks like they're going for a bit of a victory or death position here. I think they're like... Oh, they actually... you can see the aliens mobilizing for a base push, maybe. Or maybe just going for the phase gates, but the Marines are going for the base push as well. Their target is the Gorge tunnel. They don't want reinforcements. Actually, they swap target to the hive. They want to kill that as soon as possible. They're doing a great amount of damage, 60% already. Looks like it's almost half health. These guys are just about reloading. The cap packs are going to be dropped en masse to make sure they can do as much damage as possible. The fight is engaged. You've got these guys actually going down. You've only got 3 Marines left. One of them's got a shotgun. The others might be picking up some of those shotguns, and the Hive is actually getting healed. The Hive's probably going to stay alive at this point, and they do clear these guys up. Really good job from them, and then a nice response from the aliens to actually not even send all of the aliens to defend, but actually have some of them on top of those phase gates. Really good job, making it hard for the Marines to recover from that one. They're way ahead at this point, but they just lost quite a lot of map control. That's a bit of a mistake to drop fools. Obviously, it was matured and it has been echoed out. But it's very vulnerable right now. They've got no one in position to defend it. And Varch has seen it. He's going to clear the 3 cysts, slow and steadily. Maybe not. Nice job from Scatter to get on top of D. Really nice job. There's the range spike, the double bite before he even turns around. And Ant are falling behind a little bit once the fades came out. It looks like Matzo with that fade is doing a really good job. They do need to keep the Fool's Harvester. Here comes Matzo to deal with a couple of riflemen. It's weapons 2, armor 1, so he's not. It's not too of an unfair fight, but he just needs to be careful because he is outnumbered. The Lurk comes in to try and help and deal with the fact that he is outnumbered, but he's doing a great job actually. Scatter getting a couple of bites. Matzo's flying around. He's worried about platform because there's only one fade. He has to sort of be everywhere. So as soon as it's called that someone needs to defend this position, he has to come and deal with it, and he comes there too late. That's why you got to have the 2 fades so that they can either clear up falls and do huge amounts of damage, or you can have 2 fades in one spot. In 2 different spots, sorry. You got Subsu with the med packs. Really good job holding that fade at bay. Aliens at this point investing a huge amount of money into just building as many harvesters as possible. Now that is advisable, but there's also the aspect that they do need to hold the harvesters as well. Can't just build them up and hope for the best. Good job with the echoing out though. That is helping them at this point. You've got the platform harvester will go down soon enough. The fade is finally coming back in position. The scan goes down so that at least Subsu knows these guys are coming in. He's got no backup. The cyst won't be in place to save this harvester. Good job actually finishing it off there, just in case. Fade Lurk combo. You got up against ISO here with a rifle. Actually, good rifle damage taking off Matzo's armor. These guys are looking to take back Agri Labs. You got the Woot here, takes out one of those Marines alone. Really good job from him. An outsider who's no longer on that gorge, coming in to take on a 1v1 onto D, does take him. And the Harvester is just about saved. Looks like it is it does have infestation. The power was taken out, which was a smart call. And it's looking like Envy are picking this back up due to the fact that they've got huge amounts of Harvesters. 3 biomass, the Gorge upgrade should be assisting them once they get that Gorge in play. I think overall though, the really important factor that's keeping them in this game is the fact that they didn't take significant damage from the Marine pushes, and now they're investing huge amounts of money into just building as many Harvesters as possible, and the Marines aren't quite keeping up with that. You can see they're pushing back into Agri Labs, but Matzo's done a good job of clearing up platform. He does need to deal with the blueprint and then replace that Harvester there, because there is one they could hold. Advanced Armory started. I don't recommend that. That's quite an expensive way to get upgrades. I mean, jetpacks are kind of good, but so are cat packs, so is weapons 3. There's a lot of options they could have gone for, and we're not seeing Advanced Armory much recently because of the fact that it's so expensive. Good job, really nice. He's actually taking it out there. Woot takes on the Bamboo Pass phase gate, and it looks like Agri Labs is the last Marine play they have in terms of map control. Certainly in the short game. If they can't get this up, the 2 skulks clear this with the Enzyme. This is looking very good for the aliens to turn this around, maybe with an Onos if they can get one of those up sometime soon, which they won't because they don't have the P-Res, but that's alright. Good job from Matzo to be in position. There's the bar bomb. They do fail to get the phase gate up. Now they're going to have to maybe resign themselves to just a false phase gate, maybe Bamboo Pass again. But certainly not in Agri Labs, and the aliens have done very well to hold the Marines off, not panic, and stay on top of the Marines and do some really good harassment. Somehow managing to defend against what we saw was the 5 Marine push, somehow holding those guys off. So really good job from the aliens to stay calm and deal with that. You've got the Falls phase gate going up. Matzor hears it. He's called it. It's only on 50%, and the shotgun there is ready for Matzor. You've got Woot as well, the Skulk taking a huge amount of rifle damage. You've got Visor, another Skulk. Matzor's trying to distract. Really good job from Visor to be in position. Trouble by and the swipe takes one of those guys out. Matzor really low HP. He does need to be careful. He is ready to get out, and he's actually got a Gorge in position to heal him. Those guys work together, they may be able to actually stop Falls from being built. Don't worry about the power. You're not going to take it out. It's full HP. You could have just healed up the Fade and kept him in combat. Really big mistake to force the Fade to go back to the Hive, and they finished that really not good. They could have actually stopped that phase gate from being built. Scatter the single lurk. He's actually got a Crag helping him in combat, maybe, although it now is down. 2 Skulks Gorge lurk combo. Still no second Hive. We're getting to the stage of the game where the aliens are going to need that second Hive to try and keep up and actually even get ahead of the Marines. The Marines at this point, they have got advanced weapons. No prototype lab is built, and I really think the advanced armory is going to be a bad bad call that will cost them. I really think it's an expensive investment that doesn't earn them a particularly good amount of power. You can see right now the Marines are struggling. Good harass from Varcher to get onto this Harvester. That's vital. We'll see if it pays off. Looks like the Lurk's coming in, but he's got backup. Supsu just round the corner. He's still some distance away. Varcher taking a huge amount of spike damage. Really good job from Scatter. His aim is really on form right now. He is forced to retreat actually, but the Falls has been reciprocated against. Looks like Sape has gone down. Aitso comes out with the rifle, takes out the Skulk, which is really valuable. That means the Fade is now alone and cannot do the building damage to clear out that phase gate. But the aliens have done a fantastic job of taking the sides of the map. They're not too worried about Falls, and they're also able to aggress it. But they've got a lot of harvesters up. You can see Filtration will be replaced soon enough. Hydroponics has been claimed. That's exactly what they needed to do. Get that second hive up. Now they can start working on the extra upgrades that are going to get them ahead of the Marines. Just at this point, they're kind of keeping up. They've got the Fade. As soon as the Fade goes down, though, they're going to be in big trouble. Until they get the 34 P-Rays back up to 40. You can see Scatter and Visor in that position at this point. You've just got those two players and Woot sitting in Falls right now, trying to clear the mines, trying to get the Skulks in a position to actually clear the phase gate. They do have to worry right now, but they have cleared up 2 Marines, and the Marines really need to work out how they're going to clear these aliens, because right now they're getting cleared up by Skulks and Lurks, but they should have the upgrades to maybe win these fights. Upgrade Lurk has started. Everything is going well for the aliens right now. They're in a position to just maintain this strength, keep the Fade up, keep the upgrades rolling, keep your harvesters up, and have a bit of harass going on. Falls doesn't need to be so much worried about. Keep Canopy and Seeding down, and they're going to really struggle on money, and you're going to get way ahead. Here's Sipsu. He's on top of the Gorge and the Hive right now. Nice shotgun blast, takes Outsider really low and just about finishes him off just before he escapes into the tunnel. Varcher in position at Agri Labs. He isn't in position to do anything extremely important, especially with Scatter in position to defend this. It looks like a full rifle there round does about 20% damage, so it's going to take him quite a while to clear Agri Labs. Hydroponics has been finished. We got 4 biomass. We got Lurk upgrade coming along. We got 1 Lurk on the field. There's Scatter, and once he's got Umbra available, it's going to be very, very difficult for these weapons to rifles and shotguns to win fights. Good job from Woot. He's on top of Aitso. Does get taken up by the shotgun blast. Matsor comes through, takes a huge shotgun blast as well. Looks like he will be trying to escape through Filtration. He needs to go through that vent just above him, just in case this guy route blocks him inside Filtration. And D was in position without a shotgun. A couple of seconds extra if he'd been here. That could have been a bad fight for the Fade. You do have this extra vent you've got just here. He could have used that instead. That was what I was referring to. A lot of extractors have gone back up for the Marines. This is bad news for the aliens. They do need to deal with Canopy and Seeding. Seeding would be a very, very easy one. Look at this. I mean, this is really bears pointing out. I know there's combat going on right now, but look at this route. It's completely clear. They've got to get someone on top of that. They lose a Harvester at Agri Labs. Not a problem. Just make sure you're taking out some of their extractors. You can afford that. Platform, again, is another one that they've actually got a Skulk heading to that is undefended. And they got 2 extractors that they're not defending right now that they could definitely be dealing with. Looks like the Skulk Scatters heading to Canopy. That's a fair call as well, as long as he goes for the extractor, and it already is on low health. Really good job from him. An Outsider with the Bile Bomb onto this extractor, slow and steadily going to be dealing with this Seeding extractor, which does have not just Bile Bomb, but the Infestation as well to reduce some of that armor, so that's quite a lot of damage. Here comes D. Long range, he spotted that, so Outsider should get away just fine. Extractor is low, so a Skulk comes in and finishes that off hopefully soon enough, unless it gets welded. Even if it gets welded, that's 1 Marine who's out of the fight for a significant amount of time. He's not going to be doing much anytime soon. Canopy does go down. Looks like Scatter took out Canopy and maybe went to the base where the commander just got a kill or somebody just got a kill. Not sure what just happened there. Phase Gate attempt up in Agri Labs. Good job. Really nice job from the aliens to be right on top of these Marines. Outsider in the vent doing huge Bile Bomb damage, clearing the armor up, making it extremely easy for Matsor to deal with those Marines who just essentially had their armor being ripped away. Harvesters need to be replaced. Agri Labs has lost its Harvester. Filtration has lost its Harvester. Marines on 4 extractors. Good job for Scatter to actually get on top of the Seeding extractor. Good job from Outsider to call that was low. And a lot of the Marines right now are very, very defensive in the middle of the map. Visor up in the top left. You got Subsu up against him. He's actually going for a power node maybe? Jetpacks have been started again. I'm going to say it again. The jetpacks were probably a mistake, and you can see that's actually having a huge impact now. You can see the aliens getting way ahead. We had the advanced armor coming out around that mark, and you can see the aliens were really getting ahead at that point because of the lack of weapons 3. That was just making it very difficult for them to get kills. Now we've got the Umbra involved. We've got the 4 biomass. All of this is making the aliens harder to kill. making their fights go a lot better. You got Visor here. He doesn't go in with the Umbra. He doesn't Umbra himself and almost gets killed there. He really needs to Umbra himself just before he goes into fights, making it a lot harder for Subsu to clear him out there. Matsor comes in. Phase gate attempt. They even saw it, which is nice job from the aliens to actually see West Route. They were considering a phase gate up in there. Vajra and Aitso maybe looking for the phase gate in Agri Labs, but the power node is deceased. They would have to repair that fully, and that takes a really big amount of time. Jetpacks have started again, so they cancelled some of the jetpack upgrade just to get the phase gate on the ground. Then it was unblueprinted, so it's not looking good for the Marines. A little bit of mismatch, but a little bit of miscall. 4 Marines have been forced into Agri Labs. They have been called by the commander to get in position. Outside is out of position. Doesn't get punished for that, though. He really was in a position to be taken out. Upgrade Onos has started. That's a good news. That means the aliens have planned themselves to save up for the Onos, and that's going to be their winning play at this point. Really good job from Outsider, blasting those guys with Biobomb. Matsor staying alive. Where's the Umbra? Visor has 4 biomass. He's got his lurk. He's not using Umbra, and it's a huge mistake. A really, really big mistake to not be using Umbra in these fights. It has such a big impact, and he's just not using it for no reason at this point. Outsider doing a really good bar bomb onto the shotgun. Looks like that's been taken out. The scan goes down, making it a little bit harder for the aliens to push around this corner. Outsider gets caught out, and they're not finishing him. Just about not finishing him, which means the bar bomb is going to maintain there. You got the fade heading round to platform, and is that the second fade? We should be looking at a second fade soon. Woot with 37 P-res. Got a Gorge and Visor with 21 P-res, so we can replace his lurk if necessary. This needs to be a harvester very soon. They need to work out how they're going to make that harvester. Get the 4 harvesters up, especially with Agri Labs taken up. Marines are looking at a good amount of extractors. Now they got jetpacks. Now I'm not convinced the jetpacks were a right call, but they finally got them in position. The P-res is all right for jetpacks. I mean, they've got one round of jetpacks each. Good job from Scatter and Woot to help out Outsider to take on this extractor. This is always a vulnerable extractor with the Hydroponics Hive has completed there. Outsider needs to be careful. He's getting flanked by 2 Marines, is it? It's just 1. Looks like D was actually caught out. He didn't go quite the right way. Looks like they each went a different way. Outsider tries to sneak around, tries to be a little bit smart, almost gets caught out with his little play there. 3 Marines defending falls. Again, very defensive, not really moving out much. You've got 1 guy pushing platform. He's doing a good job of it. 1 guy pushing seeding, replacing the extractor they just lost, and they've got no one on top of seeding. On top of canopy. So that's going to go down potentially, and if not, at least they brought these 2 guys out of position. Jetpacks are in the field. The next couple of minutes are going to be very important for the Marines. They've spent a lot of money on jetpacks, and they can't really replace them anytime soon. If they lose these jetpacks, if they lose the next couple of fights, the Marines are going to be demoralized, and they're going to be weaker, and it's going to be looking like a very much so an alien win. Gorge goes down. He's got 22 P-res, so he's probably not too worried about that. Here comes Matsor up against Subsu and Sayep. Subsu doesn't have a jetpack. You can see he doesn't have a jetpack there. Subsu does have a jetpack. Oh, Sayep has a jetpack. And he was a little bit more difficult to kill there. Visor and Scatter. Still no Umber in these fights, making it a lot more difficult to win them. Aitso flying around. We haven't got the Skulk upgrade, which means that's another jetpack down. That's really important to note. That's another jetpack down, which means he won't be replacing that jetpack. He's got 4 P-res. But no Umbra makes it a lot more difficult for Scatter to get kills. And why aren't we seeing it? Am I missing something? He's got everything he needs for it, and he's just refusing to use it. Really big mistake to never be using Umbra. It's a lot of investment for T-Res, and it makes fights so much easier. Here comes Matsor up against a shotgun rifle combination. Here comes Visor. Now, I would have said this would have been a really nice fight for Matsor to take on, but without the Umbra, it's going to be a lot more difficult. Here he comes. No Umbra. He takes a huge blast in the back, a bunch of damage. He's forced to about 30% HP and forced to retreat. Good job from Subsu. He's in position. Not sure what he's killing there. Looks like a lot of whips were being prepared. 2 of them vulnerable. Whip's very low. He's got the lurk in play, though. He's got to worry about that. The hive is built. Here comes Outside of the Gorge. Weapons 3 has started. That's another jetpack down. Weapons 3 has started, though, so that's a saving grace that they really needed. And they've afforded that somehow based on the fact that they have had a lot of extractors up. Good job from the Marines to be on top of the alien base, but they've still not cleared any of these spurs. They've had so much time inside this base to clear spurs. And if they hadn't gone for the hive, that might have been a much smarter call. It's obviously easier to say afterwards, but if they cleared those spurs up earlier on, This might have been a very different game at this point. Aitso repairs the power. Extractor is low. You can see all of its armor has been ripped away by the infestation. AgriLab's phase gate's been replaced. So you got Woot and Visor actually taking that on. Sayip and D with the jetpacks. One of them's got a shotgun, in fact, but they have actually taken that phase gate out. Just about. Visor might go down. Where's the Umbra to save yourself? I don't understand. I really don't understand. Varcha, on top of platform, has cleared the Harvester and then replacing it with an Extractor. AgriLabs loses the phase gate, but they can afford to replace that soon enough. In fact, they have afforded to replace that already. Nice job from Outsider. He's in top of the vent there. Sape chasing him with the jetpack. Outsider just about trying to sneak through. A lot of damage from the weapons too. Rifle, though, he needs to be careful. He's very low. He could just drop out onto the hive and be fine. Phase gate onto Falls. You've got the Drifter in position with the Skulk trying to enzyme it down. It is very low. The Fade can finish it if he chooses to invest his time there. Does need to be careful. That was 4 or 5 swipes. It's a lot of energy, a lot of time. Subsu comes through. Skulk upgrade is completed. And Matzo goes down. Really good job from Varcha to catch him on the escape there. The Skulk gets in a kill on the jetpacker though. So the jetpack was the thing that was essentially putting them ahead of the aliens. I think that's probably why we're seeing them maybe get ahead in terms of extractors. They're finally afforded weapons 3. They've got cat packs as well. But they're losing a lot of these jetpacks. That you can see that a lot of them are dying. They've got a lot of the P-Res has been invested in that, and they won't be able to keep buying these jetpacks. Despite that fact, they've got a lot of extractors. Seeding is still down, which is really, really important. Every time the aliens need to be on top of that. Canopy is another one that needs to be on top of as well. Platform as well. These are extractors that they can afford to just go for. At least check every time, see if they can get through. Matsor's trying to take a 1v1 onto Varcha, who has a shotgun jetpack. Woot comes in from the side, might catch him with a low jetpack fuel. He's chasing and hunting though, he's low on jetpack fuel. Looks like Matsor might be able to get a couple of bites off. Just about struggling. Leaves him with 3% HP. Unbelievable. There's the platform extractor again. This is something they could be dealing with. Seeding is going up now. We need to be seeing that dealt with very, very, very soon. Don't wait around for seeding. Don't let them hold these extractors. It puts them in such a good position. Allows them to afford ridiculous stuff like arcs and weapons 3. Okay. This is the game changer. The Onos is in play. Up against the jetpacks. But the Marines are poor. Which means if they can win the next few engagements and clear the jetpacks, should be everything the Onos needs to win the game. But they're going to have to earn it. Aitso does have a jetpack. He's got a lot of aliens to worry about though. The Gorge is nicely in position there, which should allow him to get on top of these arcs, which are now dealing with the hive. Really good job from Scatter to be in position on top of all these Marines, and it looks like this is going to be a team wipe for someone. Matzel gets out with about 1% HP on that fade. Scatter really wants to clear these Marines. Really nice horn. Takes on Aitso, really low. All the Marines really low. All he needs to do is finish these Marines with 1 attack each. The Gorge is trying to keep Scatter alive, and he's just trying to play like a pussy. He's just about staying alive with the Bone Shield, and they try and dive him, and they all get cleared up. Looks like Varcha and D with low armor. Nice one from Visor. Where is the Umbra? This is infuriating. These guys would be winning this fight with Umbra. There it is. Really good job. I think I saw it, unless that was the bio one. Finally, we're seeing the Umbra. And it looks like they've just about won the team fight. Yeah, this is really good job from the aliens. They've cleared the arcs, the jetpacks, all the Marines are dead, the shotguns are gone. And they just need to clear the extractors. Seeding, platform, canopy. Really good job. Finally. With that Umbra is so late. Good job from the Marine to actually get through on top of one of those spurs, but that is replaceable. They do have a lot of T-Res. They're not quite as expensive anymore, so that's probably going to get replaced very soon. Matsor on top of Varcha, Aitso and D. He just needs to be careful. Those guys have weapons 3 shotguns. Again, seeding. It's a priority. You've got to get on top of that. It's just outside your hive, and they're not defending it. One sculpt can make it. Just deal with it. It won't even take that long. You want the infestation on it. Aito, Sape, Varcha, and D all holding this phase gate. Again, another very close game. The Onos is still the aliens must be very happy about. I think he's just upgraded himself with either the spurs or the shells. They don't have any shells actually, which is very strange. They do have 2 spurs though. He has upgraded himself with probably Celerity, although Adrenaline is a viable choice for the Onos as well, providing him with extra charging or extra bone shield. I personally go Celerity. The extra speed makes you much more just better in combat. This is a big fight. No jetpacks, making it very easy for the Onos to just walk through these guys. You can see as soon as he gets on top of these guys, really good bone shield in combat, making it very difficult for the shotgunners to succeed with any wow. They didn't do any damage. Really good job. Onos really nicely played. Looks like they just lost the shift in base, which means the lurk upgrade is gone. But you can ignore that for the second because the lurk doesn't lose the upgrade once he does already have it. So he still has Umbra. They do need to replace that shift though if they want the next lurk to have Umbra as well. They do need to replace the spur. Good job. This is why the Marines are rushing right now. They want to try and keep these arcs alive. It's too late. Good job from Outsider. He bar bombs everything. Nice job from Scatter to just finish him off. Make sure that wasn't going to happen. Again though, they've got extractors. So every fight the aliens win doesn't count for as much because the extractors are up. If we look at the team resources, this is making a big difference. They're way ahead right now. You can see there, look, they're about 10 minutes ahead. It's crazy. Finally, Scatter is in position to deal with these guys. 2 shotgunners, 2 rifles. Again, another fight. The aliens are winning with ease. They've got Umbra, they've got a Gorge in the fight. The Fae's doing a very good job of doing damage and staying alive. Scatter finishes these guys off. And again, the aliens have momentum and everything they need to win the game. They just need to clear up the extractors or it's going to take a while. Good job taken on platform. Good job taken on falls. I think the Marines have just lost all the momentum they had. I think this is looking like the game changer. The Onos with the Umbra, once the jetpacks were cleared, I think that was too much. Okay, we're looking at victory or death push here. 4 Marines, all with rifles, because of course they can't afford jetpacks and shotguns. Probably looking to just push straight through to Atmosphere Exchange and take out the Hive. This is kind of like a shotgun rush, except they're too poor. Nope, I called it wrong. They're actually going for a phase gate. I think this might be a mistake. No, looks like they actually take it. I'm not sure why the Onos decided to fall back to Atmosphere Exchange. But he does need to be careful for all of these, all of these jetpackers. All of them have jetpacks at the moment. The Lurk has gone down, which means the Umbra is gone. This is the time where the Onos needs to be careful. Every fight he engages in could be a mistake without the Umbra. And once the jetpacks haven't been cleared up, he needs to be careful. Hopefully we'll be seeing him do that. We got the double Onos finally. Again, they do need to be careful without the Lurk. They could be cleared up very, very easily. We've got Woot and Scatter in the top of falls, spotted by Aitso. Some aggression in platform, dealing with one of the harvesters the aliens just about have. Visor comes in, that's a Skulk down. Harvester goes down, up in platform. Scatter with Woot, trying to use the Bone Shield together. Supsu trying to flank from around the side in the vent with that jetpack. Maybe he's looking to actually take on the Hive. But he's their only shotgunner, so that might be a mistake because he'd probably die in the Hive even if he does get a couple of spurs down, which they can afford to replace. And the alien commander refusing to replace that 3rd spur. Very strange, and it looks like Supsu is doing exactly that. Going for the spurs. He might take one down if they don't involve the bone shield, the bone wall, which they could just put on that spur and make it more difficult for the shotgun to hit. Supsu may escape. Again, no bone shield cutting him off, which means the Onos can't catch up. Bone shield is a big one here, it really could have helped. Good job of taking on seeding. Again, I've been calling it all game, but it's really important to take on seeding. It's just outside your Hive. You need to keep it down. It's the only thing keeping you in the game because it's allowing them to afford jetpacks, which is making your winning play, which is the Onos. It's kind of stalemating them. Good job from Visor to get on the phase gate. He probably will be taken out by Supsu very quickly. Actually, Aitso comes out. Doesn't have a jetpack. Almost gets killed though. Really nice job from Visor to hit those 4 or 5 bites and clear him. And again, we're seeing a couple of these Marines going down, losing those jetpacks, but they can afford to replace them. The 4 extractors is a pretty healthy amount. Scatter and Woot in a bad position here. They can try and recover each other with the Bone Shield, but they're completely surrounded. 3 different directions you've got trying to deal with those Onos. They are rushing in with the Enzyme now. They just have to clear these Marines up. One goes down. Aitso is in position to be taken out. You got the Fade, is forced to retreat. Scatter's almost taken out Aitso. Woot's got still a good amount of health. Aitso's chasing him though. Scatter's almost escaped. He's got no backup though, and he might get taken out by the next rifle or shotgun blast in the back. He's almost taken out. It was a mistake to turn around. And they again, the jetpacks can deal with the Onos. You've got to have the Fades to deal with the jetpacks. And with only one Fade, it's becoming very difficult for them. Oh, good job from Matzor. Takes out one of those guys. Might have been a jetpacker, in fact. Varcher definitely has a jetpack. He's running out of fuel and might get taken out because he's going in a straight line. Matzor takes him out. Really nice job. That's another couple of jetpackers down. They can afford to replace them, but there's going to be no shotguns for a huge amount of time. Look at the PRS for the aliens. It's not great. They've got 3 harvesters, 1+, which is probably in the base because that's their overall strategy. It's been echo out this stuff. They could probably just build filtration. I don't think they need to worry about losing the drifter. Again, you can see these guys, the amount of jetpacks has been severely reduced. You've got one guy there, You got a jetpacker here, but he's getting ganked. Nice one from Matzo. He might actually take him out. Really good job. That's another jetpacker down. And they can't afford this. This game hinges on one fact. The jetpackers outplay, or essentially out-tech the Onos. Without the jetpacks, they can't win. And with the jetpacks, the aliens can't win. So it's a stalemate on that position. And the Fades are changing the stalemate by killing these jetpackers before they can earn the shotguns and make big pushes. Really nice job from Matzo. That guy didn't have a jetpack, but it's nice to clear him up. Open up platform. Maybe he's even taking on Sayep, who has a shotgun, so we just need to be careful. Again, Woot going in, this time with the Umbra. He's got outside of the Gorge behind as well, so outside is doing a fantastic job all game long, sticking with the Gorge. She's doing really good amounts of damage in seeding and keeping these guys alive in the fights. It's just, you can see how much of an impact he's having on that Gorge. And this isn't looking like a good fight. They've they know they're there. They can predict every fight you're going to make from that position, and you can't really go this way because as soon as you jump down, you can't jump back up, or certainly not easily. Find another play. Deal with seeding. Deal with seeding. It's built. Go deal with it. Canopy is something you might be able to sneak through and deal with it. Certainly with the Fade. Get the Skulks through. Allow them to harass these extractors. Maybe even use the Onos. The Onos at seeding would be pretty good. Get a tunnel up from seeding and you might be able to even hold both the Hive and the seeding. There's so many plays right now. Sitting here and doing nothing is not the correct play. There's the whip. And they're even building the whip. They could have echoed that in. I don't know why they didn't echo the whip in. Phase Gate attempt. Up in West Route. The power is 100%. The Phase Gate is tapped. It's on 30% built. Scat is doing a really good job trying to take on Subsu, who doesn't have anything. He's got no jetpack or shotgun. Here comes Matzo. That's the Phase Gate dealt with. Really good job. Spotting that, firstly, and dealing with it, secondly. Really good job. Probably will be sold if they have any sense about them. There's certainly no point keeping it and letting it die. There's the cell. Good job from the whip. Taking out the platform extractor slowly and steadily. Seeding is still built. They need to get the Onus on top of that. I appreciate they're holding them off at Agri Labs, but I really think killing extractors is more valuable than holding harvesters, especially when you've got Onos, Fade, Lurk. You could hold Agri Labs and you could deal with the seeding. I really think there's potential there. Why have they got the Fade on the extractor? I don't understand that. Here comes Subsu. He's got a jetpack shotgun. Looks like the Fade is forced to retreat. They're trying to cut him off. He does just about escape. He's very fast. He's even faster than my free cam there. So he's pretty much free to escape every time. We're finally seeing the shells come up. 40-minute game. The second Hive has been up for a very long time. Here we got 4 shotgunners, and it looks like Woot's going to get killed here because they're going to try and flank him and clear him up with a load of shotgun damage. They expend all their shotguns. They're reloading them now. That was Woot's opportunity to escape. Set down the bone wall and save him. They refuse to use the bone wall, and he does get taken out. This is a choke point. Use the bone wall to stop the Marines from flying through and killing your Onos. It's very simple. Visor. Not really umbering much at this point. I'm not sure what's going on with the aliens right now. Maybe they don't know the balance mod is in play, or because I mean that's having a big impact on what upgrades they are having available. But there's opportunities the aliens are missing. Not big, like complex opportunities. Really simple stuff like bone wall. You can drop that down, cut off choke points. Umbra, put it in fights, make it a lot harder to deal with the fact the aliens have a pretty decent amount of health already. Seeding. Clear it every time. You've got a tunnel, you've got hydroponics hive, very easy to clear that up every time. Platform, they've held it for quite a long time, but they're not keeping it for very long, so it's going down a lot. Nice job from Matzo, that's exactly what I want to be seeing. Canopy is down, so this is what I want to be seeing. Keep the extractors down that aren't defended by a phase gate. Don't worry about fools so much. Unfortunately, the jetpacks have pretty much been cleared up to some extent. They are replaceable. The P-Res is there for some players, but they've lost the Onos. Good job from Woot and Scatter. They're in position to take on D, who's running out of jetpack fuel. Does take out one of the Skulks. Nice job from him. Takes up 2 of them. Really good job. Seeding may go down. The whip does a pretty good amount of damage. You can see there. Maybe it's just 2%. Oh, sorry, I just sneezed. Jeez, that was an emergency to press the mute button there. Let's clear some of these lines. We got Matzo. He's doing a fantastic job on this fade. I mean, really, really phenomenal job. 42 and 7. It's unparalleled how good this fade is. I haven't been drawing attention to it because mostly I've been missing it or taking it for granted. He's been doing exceptionally well. These guys have weapons 3, shotguns, jetpacks, and he's still getting kills. This guy is really good at fade. There's no denying that. But we're seeing mistakes from a couple of his teammates that are costing them and slowing their win down. I really think the aliens can still win this if they make the right decisions. There's Wu, outsider in the vent up above. Not sure what that's about. That's not an important power node. There's no need to be taking that on. Woot sneaks through. Is this a base push or just go for the extractors? Maybe a base push. Bit of a mismatch there. You've got Scatter going for the extractor and Woot in the base. Ah, I see. So if you aren't sure what this is jetpacks being dropped by the commander for T-res. This is how they're affording the jetpacks and the shotguns. They're investing all their T-res into these jetpacks. That's why you need to clear the extractors. It's seeding, which they're doing finally. It's almost down. Good job from Woot, taking out the Marine guy there. Looks like a lurk might have been taken down. No, he's just about escaped. No, I can't see the lurk. He has been taken out up in Falls, so I'm not sure where that guy was dead. Looks like Visor, but he has been taken out. Woot coming in again for some combat, which is a strange one. Why is he coming through there? Why would you go there? Clear the Falls extractor. Force them to defend it. It's already low, which is nice for you. Matt's still trying to take on D. Sister's been removed from the Harvester, which means he's running out of time. He also has a jetpack shotgun. If this guy goes down, that is 35 P-res gone. Even if you call it T-res, or use the T-res to expend it, that's 35 P-res gone for a Harvester that they're not even going to lose. FaZe getting aggro labs, so the Marine's not playing particularly unpredictable at this point. Doing kind of the same thing every time. I'm not sure actually, I just realised, I'm not sure which power node this FaZe gate is powered by. If we center our map, we can see that Bamboo Pass is listed in the top left, and Falls is listed, so it looks like when you cross this line, you go from Falls to Bamboo Pass. Something about this line, so it is just about powered by Bamboo Pass, so I was wrong about that power node. So good job from the aliens picking that up, despite the fact I didn't. And I have a huge advantage, so good job from them. Good job from Visor clearing up another player there. I'm not sure if he had a jetpack or not, it's hard to know. No, he did have a jetpack. That's a Skulk taking out a jetpacker. That's good news for the aliens. D takes out this Harvester. Crag was on top of it. It's made his life a lot more difficult because now he's run out of Rifle Blitz just as Scatter and Mats will come in. He does have a jetpack. Another jetpack goes down. And they can afford to replace them because they've still got extractors up. And they're losing Agri Labs. They can replace platform again. Deal with Canopy. Nice one. Deal with seeding. Not a problem. Go through when the Subsu comes back to Falls. The lack of Onos is slowing the alien victory down, maybe to the point where the Marines are getting ahead a little bit. But they're doing a good job of cleaning up some of these jetpacks. Aliens actually choosing to go for the third hive. I really think they'll struggle to hold that, but it's certainly an option. Certainly an option. They do need another Fade on the field, though, if they want to get the hive up. But they've got Matsor with a Fade and plenty of P-res, so if he dies, they can replace that. But I think they need a second one as well. If they make an established 5-man push into platform, I think that hive is doomed. Although that could be the opportunity they're looking for to take on some of these phase gates and extractors. Scatter coming through. I mean, he finally gets through, but he's now getting chased through opportunity of the fact that essentially he just ran past the Marine. He needs to look for another play here. Don't go for the fight. Bring the Fade in. Good job. Here comes Matsor helping his teammate out. That's teamwork. Don't take the fight yourself. Bring the Fade in. The Fade's there, the anti-infantry unit. Go for the extractor. Good job. Here comes Wu. I'm not really sure what he's up to. Looks like the Skulks have got this priority to just take on some of these jetpackers and try and clean them up one by one. He's not being completely effective. It's working a little bit, but there's also the extractors they've got to worry about. So there's priorities there that they could maybe rethink. Scatter's right on top of it now. Finally, maybe he's listening to the stream. Maybe he's just got his own plans there. Platform's finished, but they're taking on all these extractors. They've got 3 from the phase gates, which is kind of inevitable. They're not going to be able to deal with that. Don't worry about it too much. You've got 4 harvesters. The 4th extractor, though, that's a big one. You've got to be taking that out as soon as possible. Subsu, trying to jetpack around, trying to shotgun around. That's another shotgun jetpack. Gone. Just about saved. Seeding was just about saved, but Aito was forced to defend it. That means he was forced. He was unable to help filtration. That's that's helpful. That's valuable. Even if you don't take out seeding, forcing these guys to defend it has its own value as well. The third hive is done. We've got Onos upgrade, Skulk upgrade, we've got Lurk upgrade, and Gaunt. We've got everything but Fade upgrade. They're going for the biomass at this point. They've got 7+1 coming soon. Look at the resources. 2,000 resources have been taken by the Marines. And they've actually got a grenade launcher in the fight. Sape with the grenade launcher there with the red bar. He is getting welded up. Could this be a potential base push? They're sort of maneuvering round, maybe. But it's being defended by Subsu, at least by vision. Scan goes down into hydroponics, and this is the point where the Marines are going to go very aggressive. The aliens will struggle to hold this with this kind of aggression, unless they get some nice early kills. Say it was unprotected there with his jetpack, shotgun. No, it's actually not a shotgun. It's a grenade launcher. Beacon is forced, because Visor is on top of the power node. This is looking great for the aliens. They cleared up not a shotgun jetpack, but a grenade launcher jetpack, hurting the other guys, forcing a beacon. Falls is down. They're taking canopy. Seeding should be another target. Again, I'm saying it for like the 12th time, but it's important for the 12th time. Take it out. There it is. Scatter again. Yeah, I knew it would be Scatter. He's right on top of this now. He knows that this is a priority. Take out this seeding every time. Wonder if someone's ghosting. For one of these Australian guys. Good job from Subsu to take out this Harvester. That was a +1 from the 4. So they can afford to lose this. It's taking his time as well, so that's really nice. It's not the best investment in res, but it's certainly not a huge waste. Here's the Skulks running about. They're running out of life forms. You can see that. They've got Outsider on the Gorge, Matzo with 61 P-res, and the Fade. So, I mean, he's looking to die at this point. I don't think he'd mind if he died. He can go Onos. Scatter with the 60 P-res, Woot and Visor with the 40. They can go double Fade, double Onos. If you sort of ignore the fact that Mats already has a Fade, he could replace that with an Onos and have that double Fade, double Onos. They can't afford the double Onos any other way. Unless they save T-Res, because they got 9 friggin' biomass, so they can afford Lurk, and they can afford all egg upgrades. They can grab any kind of lifeform egg they want. It just costs a lot of money to get their Onos upgrade from the egg. So at this point they have Xenocide, which we are actually being seen used in combat. Xenocide is very, very good against jetpackers. A couple of bites and a Xenocide can be really, really good to take out some of these jetpackers and make your Skulk a little bit more valuable later on. Umbra and Spores at this point, so you've got Spores in the fights. Now that could be a little bit helpful, a little bit more Spores. It's alright. It's not too effective. It's more effective in pubs where the med packs aren't so sure to be dropped, because all it does is health damage. It doesn't take down armor. And health damage can be completely countered by the med packs. But of course, it does force those med packs. So if you drop in excess med packs, it will clear them up by reducing the HP down by 6, and then picking up the med pack each time. So that can be quite valuable. Onos at this point has Charge, Bone Shield, and Stomp. Once the jetpacks have been dealt with, Stomp is going to be very good. And of course, which is something we don't see very often at all, is the Contagion. Contagion is this little egg little thing. You can see here the triple cyst, allowing them to drop whips inside the base. The prototype lab is low. They're not really going for the same target, the whips here. They do need to clear the Contagion, because the Contagion is providing infestation, and it does have slightly less health than all these whips. A lot of whips. There's no backup. Like, where's the secondary play from the aliens? Where's the reinforcements? Where's the Onos or the Fades? All these guys are empty rifles right now. The Fade would clear these guys up for fun. A Skulk on this prototype lab would have made a huge difference. Oh gee, I need to take a breath. So that was an expensive push, but it takes out the, it essentially gets them the Agri-Labs phase gate. Bile bomb this stuff. Oh my gosh, get an echoed shift in here so that he can bile bomb more. And I need to go to the bathroom, so hopefully this game ends soon. They're trying to escape the arcs, but there's no way they're going to escape. Good job from Outsider to spot that. If he hadn't spotted that, that might have been a different scenario. Again, and we're looking at the stages where the aliens can win. They've got 70 P-res on Scatter. They've got 70 again on Matsur as well. Woot has 60 almost. Visor almost has enough for an Onos as well. They've got everything they could want. They've got all kinds of options for P-res and life forms. Here's the Hive. They finally found it, but it's matured. It's got the triple biomass. It's very expensive, but it's well protected. Matzo, he doesn't have a Crag. He's only got the Hive to keep him alive, and he's forced to hide behind that Hive just to heal up. Nice job. We're finally seeing the Shade Hive upgrade. We could be seeing some Veil soon, but we're certainly seeing Hallucination. Nice Xenocide, taking Iso down almost to death, clearing these guys' HP up, and certainly their armor is gone as well. Matzo is just close to death, but not quite finished off. Slowly getting healed up. You can see with that 9 biomass it takes a while to get fully healed, but that's pretty much a good thing. When you've got that much HP to fill up, that can only be a good thing. Matzo again with the kill. He's trying to take out the power node because the phase gate is coming up. Good job calling that and seeing the fact that the phase gate is now dropped inside platform. They do need a counter push. All Marines are in this base right now. They can afford to defend it with 3 or 4 aliens, not all 5. Nice Xenocide takes out Iso. It's maybe not the best call. There's the Fade going down. There's Scatter with another Marine down, but that's probably in the Marine advantage, because clearing up these aliens, you know, they've got the phase gate, so they can just come straight through. They need to select this as their spawn. They need to drop eggs, which they did, so they can spawn right here. They need to evolve some life forms, because they have plenty of P-res, but they could... Nice! Ah, that's the potential for the triple kill. Really tough from outsider to just take the bite kill, though. The Xenocide is having a big impact on the fights, but they're losing the actual alien itself every time. They've got Guy in access tunnels looking to build a power node. That's in the top right, and he may be looking to actually build up a phase gate there whilst they deal with this. They need the Onos. They need... Yeah, this is it. Good job. I don't know where it is, but they're grabbing the Onos. And the Marines have done a really smart play to actually come for this fight in platform, get the phase gate up. But you can see in the top bar, 5 Harvesters +1 and only 2 Extractors. So as the fight drags on, Marines are losing, essentially. As the fight goes on and on, aliens are taking a huge advantage. Although I suppose it's not quite so severe at this point of the game where res isn't counting for so much. Tunnel has been dealt with. Hive is very low. But you can see they may lose that section of the map, but they're taking the rest of it. They could take falls. The platform has been destroyed. The Shade Hive was lost. They don't have any Veils from that. It doesn't look like they dropped any Veils just beforehand. They could have afforded a couple of Veils. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Okay. Oh, they've got charge, by the way. And they should still have Stomp, because they had these Onos just before the Hive went down. All they got to do is clear the power node. Okay, they're going for the combat. They're going for combat. That's a smart play as well. It's 4 Onos here with the Gorge. Loads of healing, all stacked in one ball, so the healing is even being multiplied. They go straight for the Com Chair. Com Chair is irreplaceable. It's gone down. Finally, they went for the 4 Onos play, clearing that Com Chair. Really good job from Envy. Really incredible game. Okay, I'm going to sit in the spectator room, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, excellent. So, the game has just ended. That was about 56-minute round. I have gone to the bathroom, so I'm ready to go. So obviously that was a very, very long match. It's hard to know for sure what went wrong there, because there's so many different variables. Hopefully you agree with me on some of the calls I made, and hopefully you have a better idea of maybe what went wrong for the Marines. I think overall that was that middle section, maybe the 20-minute mark, where we saw stuff like jetpacks. Yeah, actually I'm really calling out jetpacks here. I think that was a bad call. We aren't seeing jetpacks from the top level players much anymore. They're very expensive. It takes an advanced armory, it takes a prototype lab, it takes the upgrade itself, and then it's 15 P-res every time, or T-res. I think it's about 15 or 20 T-res for a commander to drop that. That's very, very expensive for what is quite a good upgrade, but not game-changing anymore. Certainly not with the higher access to Leap, and with the with the higher access to Lurk and stuff as well. The Lurk upgrades are making Lurks more valuable. Lurks can deal with the jetpackers as well. The man of the hour, the guy that carried them for the entire game, there was Matsor. He's got 58 and 10. He played exceptionally well on that fade. He got kills all game long. He didn't die somehow to the weapons 3, shotguns and rifles and grenade launchers and all kinds of stuff. He did very, very well to stay alive for as long as he did. He did go down eventually. As I mentioned a couple of times, though, he didn't really mind. He went for the Onos play and just, they went for the base. So essentially the jetpacks were a late game investment, but because of that, for that mid game. They allowed the aliens to take a lot of res, take a lot of upgrades. We saw the spurs and the shells and the double hive. The lurk upgrade came out, which wasn't used as effectively as I would like. And maybe I was wrong about some of the things there, but I really think there were some mistakes made, as well as some bone walls that could have been used. Overall, though, I think they allowed them to get those upgrades, made them a lot stronger. And when the jetpacks did finally come out, it wasn't the huge increase in strength that they needed to get ahead of the aliens. And the aliens played well as well, which is always going to count for a lot. Envy played very well to win that, so good job from both teams. But that was, I'm sure, a very difficult game for both teams as well. Yeah, that was a tough one, but pretty good game. Very good game. Crazy little push there with the 4 Onos and the Gorge. Really good job to get, if you stack all the Onos on one spot, which they did, then the heal spray, which is of course an area of effect heal spray, will hit everyone. So if you're hitting 1 Onos, then it's 1 times effective. If you're hitting all 4 Onos, it's 4 times as effective, which is pretty impressive. They went for the comm chair. There was all kinds of things they could have gone for. They could have gone for the power node, cutting off the Marines from their IPs and the phase gates, blah blah blah, with the upgrades especially. And then they would have won combat. They could have gone for the IPs and just won the combat and crushed them and grinded and whatever on the IPs. They could have gone for the comm chair. It was a very good call as well, especially knowing that they had probably well, they could have had money for a comm chair spare, but it wasn't too much of a worry. Especially that they could have just cleared the rest of it. But once you've got 4 Onos in your base with 9 biomass, Stomp, a Gorge, a Drifter, with 2 hives, that's the Shell hive and the Shift hive, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to clear that out. Good job from the aliens overall. That was a very impressive game. And it certainly could have gone either way. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next round. Hopefully it's not quite as long. Obviously the preferred game length is maybe 20 to 25 minutes. After that, it's very difficult to keep up with everything, and to just kind of have a good idea of how it's going to end. It's tough. All right, we're going to the next round. Here we go. We're going live on round 2. This is Envy versus Ant. This is technically week 4, although we're only just about in week 2. And we're on Biodome at this point. See if we get the early Gorge. We've got Sape on that Gorge. And an early arms up for the Marines who's being built by the commander. So maybe looking at early armor 1 or weapons 1. Gorge tunnel just by the hive. That's going to build nice and slowly on the infestation. And the Marines doing a little bit of an aggressive play outside of seeding. So good job to actually hunt the aliens down. D is in position to take on Visor. Single bite, Parasite, double bite. Really good job to take him out as effectively and efficiently as he could. You've got Supsu versus Matsor. Matsor has been parasited. He's got backup behind him. Slowly and steadily, you can see slowly and steadily these guys are pushing out. Good job from Varcher. Tags him again with the Parasite. Scatter is not tagged though. Really nice. We've got the 2 Skulks who need to be healed by Sape right now. They have the Gorge in play, but they're not getting healed by him. D's in position to take out Outsider with a double bite. Doesn't quite finish him. Oh, he just about gets him before being taken out. Sape's out of position right now. He needs to just go for the escape. This fight's really important. If Supsu wins this, Gorge stays alive. If he loses it, the Gorge might die. Sape's being chased. Go left. Might be alright. You might be alright. Just about gets out. Just about gets out. And that's important because he hadn't built the tunnel up. What are you doing? Run! Of course they're going to chase you. Oh my gosh. Okay. They didn't. Okay. Really good job from the Marines. They are so warmed up right now. Look how aggressive they are. Actually losing one of their players there. I was thinking they were going to clean that up, but he didn't quite take it. And now Supsu takes the kill. So, bit of a stalemate. Maybe in the advantage of the Marines who actually got the extractors up. The Gorge, if he'd been alive, he would have been able to build filtration and it would have been a bit more even. Really think turning around and trying to take those 2 guys on was a mistake, especially with the Skulks not quite in position. And Alien team looking to take this round. They're going up against Envy here, who have played very well so far for the last hour. And we got these 4 Skulks, actually 5 of them sort of around this falls section. Varcher's taken a lot of damage. Without the Gorge in play anymore, that means that guy's not getting healed up anytime soon. Scatter's doing a really good job taking these guys' health down a little bit. He's now being plunged on by a bunch of skulks, but he takes one out with the pistol. Really good job. Neza and Visor coming in to reinforce this room. Armor 1 is complete, which is going to make it a lot more difficult for the aliens to get these early kills. We have been seeing some really nice early kills from these aliens. Falls has been cleared. Filtration is getting harassed. This is looking like an Envy nice early advantage at this point. They've got a lot of extractors. They're doing the harass they need to be doing. And Ant have nothing prepared. Oh no, I'm wrong. This is exactly what we need to be doing. Go for the extractors. No, don't go for the fight. Bring him to you. Go for the extractor. That little bit of a juke and little bit of ballet there has cost about 10% damage on the extractor. And he really needs to get the kill on the extractor. It's 1%. Just about takes it. And we're going to be checking out platform to see if that went down as well. Really close fight here. Iso might take the kill. One more bite and he takes him. Really good job. Scatter not picking himself up there. And D gets a kill as well. Wow. And doing everything they needed to do to just keep themselves in the game there. Marines were just taking a pretty big advantage, but with the 2 extractors down, holding filtration, looks like the Drifter may have been killed, but still, that's nice. Good job from Ant to hold the game together. Aitzo doesn't want to take down Falls for free, and then he changes his mind, because it really was a mistake to move on. Filtration has gone down, that's too bad, you know, you have to deal with it. Hasn't paid for itself, because it has just been built. Varcher going for a 1v1 on Scatter. The armor 1 is making a significant difference. Look at that. He's still alive. Very healthy there. Aito up against Visor. Just go for the extractor. Don't worry about the kill. You're going to take it out. Oh, so close. That's upsetting. Can't actually see the highlight there. Looks like it's on about 1% HP. And they don't have any welders, so that's going to stay on 1% HP. So the next target is definitely going to be Falls Extractor. They're going to take that out pretty quickly. Here come the Lurks. That's D, who's been playing pretty well this game so far. He's got a 4 and 4, but I think those have been mostly small engagements where he's been maybe outnumbered. So that's well played from him. And we've got the Lurk with the Gorge with the Skulk. This is a nice little engagement. Actually, 2 Lurks. This is going to be really good for the aliens. They just need to flank, get in position, clear these guys up. Don't try and dive them until they're on the reload. There's the Lurk kill. How did the Lurk go down? What the fuck? I don't know how Outsider just got that kill, but that was incredible. I didn't even see how he pulled that off. I have no idea. I mean, that was essentially what I was saying. Don't dive, don't go in a straight line until they're reloading their rifles, because you can still be killed. I'm staggered, though. I can't believe he got killed there. I'm sure they're staggered as well. That's a really nice pick for the Marines, to take that alert down nice and early. We've got Neza trying to hold Falls. Long range, alone. Varcher's going to take out the extractor. No, he's not. He just runs around it. Clear the extractor. Go for canopy, go for seeding. You're going to lose harvesters, but in fact, you're not. Just go for these extractors. Visor has been parasited. He's got to worry about the Gorge. Nice! Gorge! And the ranged attacks there. And ISO finishing off with the bite. The tunnel is vulnerable, but go for the extractors anyway. The tunnel, you can afford to just lose that. Don't worry about it. You've lost it. Just move on. You're not going to hold it. Just keep the Gorge alive and replace it in a second. The Lurk's gone down to some incredible Marine aim. The Sape has just sat in position in the wrong place for far too long. Some hesitation, some bad calls here. Have lost the aliens a lot of life forms. And he's calling it the ping, but you've also got to worry about the fact that there's 3 Marines you're taking on alone there. So there's multiple aspects that you've got to worry about. They're investing too much into this tunnel. This tunnel isn't the game changer the extractors are. Go for the extractors, keep the Gorge up, you can replace the tunnel. You don't have to worry about the tunnel so much. Here comes Steve from behind, good speed, takes him out with 2 bites. Weapons 2 has started though. They do need to slow down the upgrade train, because it's coming on fast. Varcher, he's on top of the extractor, but Matsor with the early shotgun will take him out almost with 1 shot. 2 shots there. Extractor is being attempted in Falls, but it's only Visor to take it on. And they've got 3 Skulks to worry about, but he's doing a good amount of damage. These guys are all low. He gets a kill. Nice one. Double kill. That's D and Substitute down. And Sape with the long range, who's actually low health, so he probably struggled to take him on. He's trying to hunt him. A little bit of a stalemate. There's the pounce. Sape takes him. Really good job. And Outsider wasn't quite in position to help his teammate. Sape's really low. He just needs to get the Parasite and move on. Or maybe just move on. His Parasite's already tagged. You're going to get taken out in 1 hit. Really good job from Outsider. He actually gets a bite off, which is valuable. The tunnel is low. Don't worry about it so much. Just go for the extractors still. The tunnel's nice. And they've defended it just about. But, I mean, eventually it's going to go down. Just keep taking out extractors. Here comes Neza. Weapons 1, armor 1. He's going up against 2 Skulks, but he's got them on top of him. Really good job to pounce over those stairs to get right above him and make it very difficult to hit both of them. And again, all these guys rotating around this tunnel, I mean, it's working really well. There's no denying that, but it's not the pinnacle of the game. It's not the game changer. It's working well, but don't make it your only play. You've got to keep going on the extractor. Sape's actually behind Visor, but Visor gets a nice early kill onto Aitzo. It clears the room. Very well done from him. The shotguns are doing really well at this point. Weapons 2 is completed. Marines are doing very well in combat. Matsor dealing with assists. You can see how quickly he deals with them. Slightly better aim. He might be able to take them out with 2 shots. You can see he went out to 2% in one of those double blasts. D comes in early. Gets taken out with a triple shotgun blast. Matsor takes out the next sculpt with 1 shotgun blast. Filtration's vulnerable. Agri Labs is taken out. Hydroponics is going down though, so that's good news. But it's what am I seeing here? That's mad. I can't explain that. They're building falls. They're going for phase gates maybe, but I mean, why is that there? I find that strange. Sape's coming through. He is scanned, of course, by the passive scan from the observatory. Outsider knows there's a guy behind him from the sound and the scan. Aitzo is forced to reroute himself to falls. And filtration has gone down, so D is fighting and winning over a dead harvester. Agri Labs is going to go down. And are looking like they're in a very bad position. You can see right now the team kills are escalating very quickly for the Marines and plateauing for the aliens. Team resources looking good for the Marines, of course. And obviously this is an indication as well that the aliens are sort of struggling a little bit. So the observatory here obviously has the that's the radius of the scan. So anyone that comes through this area is going to get scanned very quickly. Makes it a lot more difficult to get the base pushes on, which they're more worried about at this point. It's those base pushes because they can win the fair fight. So just worry about the base pushes from that right hand side. Neza gets a welder kill, not quite being finished off quick enough. Nice shotgun blast there. He doesn't have any armor, but he takes him with 1 shot, so that's very good. Where are the fades? They're far, far, far from the fades right now. They need to clear the cyst line, so that's going to take out hydroponics eventually. Have a guy come into hydroponics to clear the cyst line. That's going to be a dead harvester. Get the phase gate up at Agri Labs. That's the play for Agri Labs. There's the scan to clear the room. Power's going down. Oh, hiccups. And they've just got about enough money for the phase gate. There it is. They've got it built in base. And it looks like mobilization to a base rush, maybe. No. Oh well. So at this point, I'm looking for a base rush from the aliens because it's the only thing they have that could actually turn this game around. They need to do huge amounts of damage. They need to take out an IP, force a beacon, maybe take out some extractors after that. All of that needs to be happening before this game is looking anywhere like an alien win. There's the attempted base push, but it does get scouted. Matsor sees the drifter, and he's not stupid. He realizes that there's some skulks with that drifter. Really good aim. Takes that guy out with a couple of pistol shots and then the shotgun blast. He goes for the weld, draws Varcher out of position from the hiding position. Varcher gets the kill though. Really good job from him. A couple of Marines maybe pushed into the alien base. They're trying to pop eggs. They've only got 1 hive. Eggs at the 6 count are being used by the aliens who are on the respawn wave at this point. Scatter. Nice! Triple kill from Neza and Scatter. Alien base is vulnerable. There's a kill onto an egg. Good game is called. Yeah. Really good job. Very nice game from Envy. So a clear difference from that round to the first one. Envy looking like the much stronger team at this point. Really playing well. Those early engagements, maybe the aliens were holding on just about, but they weren't taking out extractors. Actually, I'm struggling to really remember what went wrong there for the aliens, but I think overall the early losses of the Lurks was a big impact. Some other stuff as well. Overall, though, they just sort of lost harvesters and didn't kill extractors. So I mean, they got out-teched, and you know, you got your skulks against weapons 2, shotgun armor 1 Marines who are really good at aiming. It's over. It's over. Excellent. So we're going into round 3 and 4. It's going to be on Summit. Just about to connect in. Again, this is a week 4 matchup up against an Australian team, so they clearly want to play this game early so they can get it out of the way. Maybe they're worried about the fact that they might not be able to play it later on. They do have to worry about the fact that it's difficult to get both the Australians and the Europeans playing at the same time. I'm a European. My time at the moment, it's about that midday mark. It's about 2 to 3 p.m. For those guys, I believe 13 hours different, maybe 11. I can't remember which way though, so I suppose that doesn't matter. So it's going to be middle of the night for them. Maybe it's slightly earlier. Maybe it's 11 or 12 p.m. for them. I can't remember what I was saying. Yep. Okay, so we're going into round 3 and 4. I believe it's 2-0 to Envy, who've been playing very well so far. They've had some really good aim. The strategy's been pretty on form. There's no denying that. And overall, just doing really well. I've got some more casts coming up late today, so I'll run through those just so you guys are aware. So that's a week 2 matchup. I'm going to be casting Saturday, April at 9 p.m. CEST. So that's Titus versus Godar. There's no denying that's going to be a really great game. I think Titus are the slightly better team, or at least from the observations of the NS2WC and a couple of rounds that Titus have played so far. But Godar are looking to prove themselves after that fact. So we may be moving server. Oh, no, I'm wrong. They're just F4ing to get these guys on the same team. Okay. So that's going to be a great game. That's coming up in a few hours. That's going to be 8 p.m. my time, and it's 2:30 p.m. my time. So that's 5.5 hours till we're going for those rounds. That's Godar versus Titus. So that's going to be awesome. Tomorrow we've got another game coming up. That's Raze versus Virtual Dejection. So that's going to be another EU versus Australian team. Yes, I do forget actually. I play with the sound a little bit lower for my own purposes because sometimes it's too loud compared to Skype and stuff. But of course that has an impact on the broadcasting, so I should remember to do that in future. So that's going to be another game tomorrow that should be really good, and then I've got another game on Monday as well. That's another week 2 game. So a lot of week 2 games coming up after this one. I'm tagging 2 hours later versus Radical on Monday, another 8 p.m. game, so that should be pretty good. Excellent. So it looks like both teams are in position to ready up at this point. Looks like Ant really want to try and take this. It looks like they're maybe being outskilled at this point. Envy looking like the stronger team, certainly in round 2 and the ends of round 1. Earlier on in this round 1, it was a little bit more evenly matched. Ant were maybe ahead at times, maybe had the opportunity to win. I don't know anything about Team Ant, by the way. I've never heard of these guys. Fatija, Arj. I've never heard of the team. I'm not sure what their history is. Maybe that's my bad. Okay, good. We're going into round 3. Nice. We're going into round 3. This is Ant versus Envy. Envy are 2-0 up. So it looks like Ant really wants to recover some points from these guys. We've got an eastern spawn for the aliens and western spawn for the marines with an early armory, so probably looking for some mines to just hold their base a little bit better. And no gorge. Shift hive has been evolved, and we aren't seeing a shift, so the echoes maybe not looking like the choice at this point. A nice 4-scalp crush in the south. Mines have been started. Neza misses the parasite. He's being hunted by Subsu. A flank coming from Matsor, but there's 3 Marines in Computer Lab, so this isn't going to be a good fight for the aliens, despite the fact that they're slightly outnumbering. Still going to be a bad fight for them, I think, because the positioning and the aggression from Subsu is going to be really in their favour. Subsu gets caught out a little bit. Outsider tags the kill. Subsu does take one for himself, though. D is a little bit caught out with a Parasite double bite. Really good job from Envy, somehow managing it with just 3 skulks. I don't even know how they managed that. That was really impressive. And Ant need to be winning fights like that. That was a big deal. There need to be med packs involved to make sure that the Parasite doesn't propagate outwards. It's only 2 bites and a Parasite to kill a Marine. If you get a med pack involved at any point, it's then 3 bites and a Parasite. So that needs to be happening every time. We're seeing the tunnel from the gorge. Slightly later gorge, maybe the commander wasn't sure and then decided, okay, we're holding sub pretty easily. We've won the fight at Comp Lab, let's get the tunnel from sub access to the spawn. Maybe it's a ventilation or reactor core. Not 100% sure what that's going to be doing. Subsu rushing through. He's only got eggs on a hive to deal with though. There's nothing else to try and take on. Apart from this gorge. Whoa. Visor's going for the fight. He's going to get killed. But here come Lucas and Neza. That's the commander and a guy from Reactor Core to deal with that. And it's unfortunate to lose the gorge. I really think he should have been a little bit more evasive. But it's hard to know how the best way to survive in those kinds of engagements. Outsider and Scatter. Look at these guys. Look, they're just sitting there. They've got nothing to do. They're bored. They've got no extractors to kill. They've already dealt with the crash at Comp Lab. Just waiting for the call from the commander, who was a little bit distracted by that weird aggression from the Marine. Outsider gets taken out early from D. Good job from him finding that skulk. Nez is on the south. Matsaw's in the north. Good job. Grabbing the 2 early bites. Finishes him with the 3rd. And here comes Subsu. He's just parasited. He turns. He's got his little hop in going on. He's trying to get some distance. Look at that hop in. Nice. And at Reactor Core, 3 Marines. They can get the extractor up, but that leaves the left side vulnerable. Good job from Scatter to take on the crevice extractor. It's a nice job from Scatter actually. He was a little bit lackluster on the RT harassment in round 1. Now in round 3, he's right on top of it. As soon as he can, he's on top of crevice. Keep biting. Keep biting. Oh, okay. Just retreat. Go for Atrium. I really think you just got to keep biting in situations like that. Looks like the Marines are going for some of these spurs, but they get cleaned up by a really good alien defense. Visor, another gorge. Another gorge, really? What am I seeing here? Yes, okay, so that's the same gorge regorging. I was very worried they went for a second gorge from a second player. It's a second gorge from the same player, which means they can still afford 2 skulks, 2 lurks, 2 fades, whatever they want. And the lurks will be coming out soon. You got 3 harvesters up. Reactor Core was not built, and it was not lost as well. They would have lost it if they built it. So good job from the alien commander to invest in the right areas. Outsider takes out an extractor at crevice. No one there to deal with that. Finally, a guy's in position, but it's down. And here comes Atrium damage. He's going to take a while to get there, and that's going to be a good amount of damage. Probably a kill on this extractor before this guy, Sape, can defend it. Subaxis is taking some harass. Tunnel is not finished, so Visor's waiting for some P-res to finish that tunnel. You can see he's now finally on 5 P-res, which is the required amount to get that second tunnel up. And the lurks are in play. Good job taking on Sayep. Matzo finishes him off. Extractor goes down. And they're playing a slow game here. They're finally getting some extractors up. Weapons 1's coming along. The mines are bought, but they're not really being used aggressively. They're just being used defensively. And the aliens aren't falling for it. They're not being taken up by mines. Visor really wants to get that Gorge tunnel up back in his base. We'll probably see him drop that as soon as possible. There's the lurk grabbing his spur upgrade. There's the tunnel. The lurk's trying to get through this long corridor here. Trying to spike damage onto Subsu. But he's got Virtue, and those guys have done a good job of holding that corridor. Here comes Matzo. He's taking out a Marine there. That's 3v1. And they're distracted by a Harvester and they lose one of the Marines. And that's a big deal. That means when the 2 lurks come in, it's probably going to go in the alien favour, especially with the Gorge there. And they spread out. That means Outsider gets the kill. Subsu's now alone. He's long range with the line of sight from ISO. But they lose 2 Marines in that engagement. That means they're on the respawn and not holding map control. Scatter takes out one of those. Now Subsu is alone. He's going to get taken out very, very, very easily. And that's going to be Comp Lab down. Unless they get the reinforcements on this lane. Really good job from the aliens, just clearing these guys up one by one. That's about 6 Marines they've cleared up, one by one. On this, just in this individual channel. Here come the shotguns, and I really don't think it's the shotguns that they're losing because they're losing the fights. I really think it's the these 1v1s they're trying to take, or the 2v2s. They can take out Visor here. No, they can't. He's just got around the corner. Oh, very close, but they don't quite have him. Oh, snap! They've invested all the Marines into the south side, so they drop a hive. Now that's a really huge investment, and Outsiders somehow taken these 3 Marines. They need to work out how they're going to kill these lurks, because they're not doing it right now. And they've cleared up the Marines, and that could have been a good opportunity to clear this hive, which would have been 40 T-res down early. But at this point, they've got the hive coming up. That's probably looking like a success for them. 4 harvesters. No, only 3. Why are we only seeing 3 harvesters? Oh wow, they didn't replace ventilation. They got reactor core going down, so good job from the Marines to see this vulnerability. Wow, Outsider takes a huge amount of damage. Here comes Neza though. Marines are down from reactor core. Ventilation hasn't been replaced. Drifter has left sub-access, meaning that the hive is going to grow very slowly. They do have a gorge there, but you've still got to get the Drifter involved as well, especially now that the gorge isn't even involved. Good job. Invest a shotgun push. They'll probably take the hive down, even though they'll lose 3 shotguns. Could be a very costly fight for both teams. They're just going straight for the hive. Good job for taking that out with the next volley of shotguns. And these lurks refuse to actually go in. Now, of course, you've got 4 Marines here, which means you've got no Marines everywhere else, apart from maybe one who's building some stuff in Crossroads, maybe, or maybe he's dead. He is alone, of course. He is in Crossroads. Crevice is going to go down, so this is why it's a tough one. They got the hive down, so that's a good thing, but they lose a lot of extractors, so that's a very, very bad thing. They're going to have to replace some of these extractors, but they can't afford it. You can see their money is very, very low. And the lurks are going to be there for the recap as Varcha. These next few fights are really important for the Marines. If they can't clear out any of these skulks or any of these lurks or do any damage, they're going to lose all their extractors and have no money. There's another extractor down. It wasn't even built, so it didn't take any res. They just about sell it, but it's not going to get much money. It was very low when it was sold. Computer labs being rebuilt. Atrium is now looking like it could be a contestable room for both teams. Sisting in. Lurks are forced to retreat for some reason. Not sure they needed to, but that's fine. Crossroads, looks like D might finish off Matsor, doesn't quite take him, and really good range spiking from outsider. Here comes Nezra and Scatter from the side. Varcha is now alone, looking to take on the shotgun, hunting these guys. He does grab the shotgun, but gets taken out before he can even shoot one bullet out of it, whatever the hell you call it. Probably not bullet, but that's fine. Nice job. Izo takes out Matsor. So, Marines, as I called it, are running out of money. They've finally replaced some of these extractors, but they've spent that's all the money they've earned over recent times. They're spending on extractors, so that's no upgrades. 8-minute mark, we're going to be seeing fades very soon, especially with the 4 harvesters, and they're only going to have weapons 1, and they're going to have shotguns available, but not much P-res. Is that a little fat gorge there, coming around the corridor? Skulk on the left flank. Sape takes him out, really good job. Supsu is caught out by the lurk there. Nice med packing, saving him just about. But the range spiking is incredibly good. And then they come in onto Sape, who is now alone, and they take him out. Everything's being done right. Actually, really nice job from the Marines to try, but not succeed. To cut these lurks off and maybe get the pinch. But the lurks know, once they spotted it, that they can just go straight through Crossroads. Really good job. Good job from both teams. Obviously, the aliens may be taking the win out of that one. Varcha trying to take on a Crag alone. He's only got weapons 1. It's fully mature. He's taking a lot of time. He's taking out the Sis, though. That Crag's looking like it might be taken out, but maybe not, actually. Varcha might be able to actually... He does get taken out just as the Fates come in, and they might lose the Crag, but they hold the Harvester. Double Fade is going to make it very, very difficult for the Marines to replace some of these extractors that they have lost. The shotguns are in play, but it's not going to be enough to deal with the Fades unless they do some fantastic aim. No armor, weapons 1, it's nothing. Nothing. Marines are really, really looking bad at this point. They've got 9 minutes of upgrades and they've only got weapons 1 shotguns. They haven't even got that much money saved. They haven't got much map control. They've got no observatory, or at least no phase tech. And Aito survives just on the fact that he was hidden there. Aliens have called some kind of push. Double Fade, 1 Skulk, 1 Lurk. That's a good amount of damage. They're going straight to the base. There's no Drifter, though. They'll lose platform, whatever the thing at the bottom is called, sub-access. They take out the arms lab. That's devastating for the aliens, and they've got nothing. Oh, this is looking like a good game. The Marine Commander gets out. They've got no backup plan. The Marine base is under alien control. And this is looking like a good game. Really good job from the aliens to call that base push, even without the Drifter, which would have been a very helpful addition there. They're even bringing it in late because of how beneficial that would have been. They take out one of the IPs is low, the second one's a little bit lower. There's 1 IP down. Second IP is low. They've got no commander, so they've got no backup plan. The Marines are coming in. And the Double Fades have got 1 job at this point. Kill 4 Marines. Can they kill 4 Marines? Well, one of the Skulk can. There's Matsor. And I'm pretty sure we know he can. Yep. Good game. Very good job from Envy. Really nice job from them. That base push, I mean, it was inevitable they were going to win. At least if the Marines didn't do something crazy and turn it around completely. But that base push was a nice call. Oh. Oh no. Let me just check I did that right. which I know I didn't, but yeah, okay. So that game was very interesting. Obviously, the aliens took some really nice harvesters in the bottom and held them very well. They didn't build up reactor core until they held it. And at that point, they had lurks and they were doing well with them. The Gorge was a very nice addition. I rate the Gorges very highly personally. I have a lot of respect for the Gorges. I think they're very effective. And we saw that in that game. The Gorge with the tunnels and the healing and the hive building was really good. Speaking of which, with the hive building, now the Marines were forced to buy shotguns. They were forced to invest 4 Marines in the south, and I said it. They had 4 Marines in this position. Or I did this line here. They cleared the hive, but they lost all the extractors. And as soon as they killed that hive, I looked. They had 2 extractors. They had one guy at Crossroads. Because this was the extremely important point, is not just the fact that they killed a hive, but could they have afforded to have killed that hive? And it looked like no. They lost a lot of extractors, a lot of map controls for taking that hive out. So a good job from the aliens to actually invest in a hive that they might not have been able to keep. Now they didn't keep it, and I've got to go to the bathroom. You guys can think about that yourselves. Yeah. Yeah, obviously once they get the fades out, it's going to be a good game every time when they haven't got any upgrades. Let me check what screen I'm on. Yeah, that'll do. I was going to say something. Oh yeah, obviously I'm pissing a lot because I'm drinking a lot. I realised last weekend I've got to drink more. When you do 8 hours of casting in one weekend, which I'm going to probably be doing again this weekend, in fact probably more because we had this is probably a 2.5 hour one total. Maybe not. How has that happened? What time did we start? I don't know what time we started. Yeah, you've got to drink water, otherwise you die. Yep, so that's that. Anything else I need to discuss? No. Looks like Envy are probably going to take a 4-0. They're playing very, very well. There's no denying that. And I think on the Marine round, round 2, when they were playing Marines, they were very, very good. I mean, they were pretty much unstoppable by at least Ant. They were not quite up to par. Now, what's going on the teams here? Some good games, some mercs. Me not ready. Then I come back. Cool. So I think everything's looking good at this point. Just got some of the chat from the end of the round. It's just been 3 minutes since the end of the round. We are on a 3-minute delay, of course. Something most of you will probably be aware of already. 3-minute delays there to sort of minimise ghosting and stuff. Yeah, you guys are saying it too. The hive wasn't necessarily there to build. It was there to force the Marines to do something. It was to force the Marines to play a certain way. And the Marines did exactly that. And it wasn't necessarily a mistake, but as soon as they killed the hive, I checked it. It was the important aspect of the fight was it going to affect the rest of the map too much? Were they going to lose too much of the rest of the map? And they did. They had 2 extractors, not a lot of money. They spent a lot of time trying to recover, and they spent a lot of money trying to recover. And a few minutes later, we saw them with a few extractors back up, but no upgrades beyond what they had when they killed the hive. So that was really important, and that meant the Fates came out and had pretty much no competition. The rest of it was essentially the aliens just playing smart, playing well. The Lurks did a great job, and we saw this ridiculous play here, where we had 3 guys here, and then one of them got taken out by a Skulk. I think Matsaw came through and killed one of them, so now they only had 2 Marines here. And then they sort of split up a little bit, allowing the Lurks to come through this corridor. So the Lurks come through, clear up the Marine here. Now it's just 1 Marine. He tries to fall back. Now that was fine, because they had a guy here who's dealing with some bullshit in the corner, protect each other. So one goes down, another one goes down. They had another guy coming in from the respawn. I think that was probably the first guy that got killed by Matsor. And it was just 6 Marines and then 7 and 8, and they just lost so many Marines that did nothing for about a minute, with about 3 or 4 aliens at most. Clearing those guys up, just having an easy time, and it was just this chain reaction, this domino effect of where the Marines just didn't full stop and say, right, well, we've screwed up, let's do it right this time, and they just kept pushing. Not very good. So they might want to relook at what happened there. I think they started blaming ping at that point. So I'll let you guys decide whether it was ping or maybe it was something else. So the teams at the moment, we've got Envy, who are the Australian team. It's nice to see these guys doing very well. Actually, something that's obviously been a bit of a discussion in chat is what are the pings like? This is an NA West server, which means both teams are going a third of the way around the world to meet this server. So this is a mid server for both of these. Europe is obviously going left and Australia going right, if you look at a map. So both these guys have pretty even ping, but it's still a 400 millisecond connection from one guy to the other. So that's a lot of time, and that's it's causing a little bit of issues maybe for some of these players individually, but I can't imagine that's having an overall effect on the game. Usually the game still goes to the winner. So what's happened to these guys? Where have they gone? Yeah, not sure what's happened to the Ant. I assume they're going to be continuing to compete. Looks like they're trying to get some mercs involved. So both teams struggling to outfit themselves with a full 6-player squad. Oh, I've said something wrong maybe. So maybe I said Raze instead of Envy. So both Raze and Envy are the Australian teams. Envy are playing today. Their commander at the moment is Raze. Lucas 2616. Oh, 26. That's what we need to be seeing. Lucas 26. He's stolen my name a little bit there. Not a problem. And the Ant guys, a bunch of Europeans. They seem to be quite good, but looks like the Envy guys are a little bit ahead. Certainly with the 3-0. Okay, so we got another player coming in here. We got ISO is finally in the team. I'm not sure who Danny is, but he joined in the first round looking to cast, maybe? I don't know. But I already was casting because I was asked by the by Pelagia, the administrator. And I said yes. So it looks like Envy are pretty much ready to just start the round. I'm sure they're feeling pretty confident at this point. The last 2 rounds have been a secure win for them. It hasn't even been that close. The round 1 is probably the closest. Certainly probably because it was the longest as well. But they've been ahead of the opposition most of all of the rounds from that point on. Most of the time they've been ahead. Their combat is just great. They're out aiming. They've got some really good flanking and maneuvering on the alien rounds that they've had. And the Marine aim's been pretty good in round 2 as well. So I'm predicting, of course, a 4-0 for them. And it looks like we've maybe outfitted ourselves with a full squad here. I'm not quite sure. Yep. Okay. So they've got a couple of mercs now. Oh, excellent. Looks like Envy are ready, and the Ant guys have finally got their 6 players. We're going live onto round 4. Oh. A bit of an interrupt on the initial start there. I'm not sure if we're going live in a second or not, so I think I'll assume not. Oh no, maybe we are. I'm hesitant, but I think we're live. Pelagia has no issue, it looks like. So 5 Skull Crush down the south side, all the same way. This is looking like a base rush. Where's the Drifter? They haven't actually got a Drifter or a Shift Hive, so maybe not a base rush. Maybe looking to just crush Complete Lab and take an early advantage. Scatter and Matzo, they're too smart for that. They're not building that Extractor. They've done pretty good damage to Aitso, but the rest of them are full health, and this is looking good from Varcher to get into position on the side. Takes out Scatter very nicely, and Matsu is pretty vulnerable at this point. 5 Skulks and no team kills. Very lucky, very lucky. Outsider comes into position from Crossroads. They're just rushing through the base. They have called it. Some of them are a little bit mismatched. Sape goes for a kill there. Respawns, though. They've got 2 respawns and a Commander to worry about. That's not going to be a successful base rush. Okay, so it's not bad for either team. Let's assess that. They've got Crevice half built. The guy had to fall back just in case. A full respawn wave, and they do have to pop eggs, which is unfortunate. I mean, obviously, when you lose that many Skulks that early, you might have to pop eggs. But overall, they built ventilation and sub-access, and denied Computer Lab for a short while, and brought these guys out of Crossroads. So that wasn't built either. Varcher, Sape, and Aitso. It's just actually 2 of those. The first 2 are maybe Danny as well, taking on these guys. Really good early kill, and Outsider's now outnumbered completely. There's an Extractor kill for Crossroads. Really good job. Harvester down in sub-access is vulnerable, but they've taken out one of the 2 Marines that was there, I think, and then the second one, Matzo, is down as well. Really good job from the aliens, and in fact, calling one of the Crossroads guys out. That's Danny and Varcher with Aitso to maybe take on Scatter and maybe take out Computer Lab as well. So there could be 2 Extractors nice and early for Ant. They're doing great. This is exactly what we need to see. Crossroads have been taken out. Computer Lab is vulnerable, and they've even got 2 Skulks on top of it. Get on top of that. Get on top of that. Ah, Danny, you could be on top of that doing damage. I really think you could have had that down to 30% with those 3 Skulks, and then you could have just ran off. In fact, they did 30% alone with 1 Skulk. 3 Skulks would have done 90. They could have finished that. What do they do instead? You've got Danny going back to heal at the Hive. That's really unrecommendable. Usually it's just better to die and come back in an egg. Varcher's behind Visor. Nice dive. He's only got... Oh, he just gets the armor 1, but it's not enough, actually. With the double bite, the triple bite, and the Parasite. Doesn't need to rhyme, but it does. Computer Lab has been built. Matzo and Outsider looking to defend that. Izo's low. Spast, whatever his name is, and Danny coming around this main entrance. Iso from behind. Outsider's going to hunt Danny and take him out. Matzo's from both sides. Nice little crush. Outsider missing the bites there from Danny. And now Outsider and Matzo maybe looking to take on this sub-access arena. Looks like one of the Skulks may have just pushed through to the base. There it is. In my peripheral vision. Just noticed that Aitso got the IP down to 50%. Lucas, the Commander, takes him out. Good job from a Commander. I always like seeing Commanders getting kills. It's very nice. Reactor cores being built. Okay, so Envy don't panic. They deal with it just as they should. Weapons 1 started. Armor 1's complete. Scatter and Visor looking to get... Oh no, they were looking for that guy, but they didn't spot him, and he comes out just at the right moment. Sub-access is being dealt with. The sys line is being broken. You've got Danny and VX coming position. You've got the Lurk as well, actually. This is a Lurk that's in position. But they're getting the kills. Really good job, and the Lurk is in a really bad position. He needs to get out immediately, otherwise he's going to get taken out by the next volley of rifle shots. He just about gets out with 10%, maybe, not even that. You got Reactor Core up here, you got some damage with the Extractor for the Marine side, so Nez has done a great job of pushing that northern side of the map, capping it all, and no one decided to go to the northern side and deal with him. If you have someone in Crevice early on, he can't go to Atrium and build it, he has to come back and defend, he can't build Reactor Core, so you can. It makes a difference. It propagates outwards. It's not just on its own. Every action has an effect outwards that you've got to think about as well, so you've got to go aggressive because it usually has a very positive impact for your team. Double Lurk play, looking to actually maybe just rush the base. You know, I'm never going to not recommend that. If you can do it, go for it. It's going to be probably the most highest impact play you can make is just pushing the base. Matzo has outsmarted them. He's coming through the vent. He sees Sayep. The base rush is called. The Marines are surely ready for this. They're actually going for the kills, though. Good job. That's what we need to see. The base rush is called. They're prepared for it. They've only got 1 IP. No mines. Observatory. The beacon is forced. Excellent. Go for the extractors. Go straight for the extractors. Get out of the base. Go for the extractors. Go for the extractors. Okay, they got a kill, but they need to go for the extractors. There's Computer Lab. It might not die. Beacon is forced, though. That forces map control back into the base. Extractor at Comp Lab would have been killed if they'd had 2 Skulks on it, but they didn't. Crevice would have been a great target. Atrium and Reactor Core, of course, good targets. And why are these guys healing when they've just beaconed? Go for the extractors. Danny and Varcher trying to take Crossroads. You can see that maybe they weren't quite quick enough on the extractors, or maybe they didn't have enough guys on it, but they've taken 1. From 1 beacon, they took out 1 extractor, which is a little unfortunate, especially when they've got 7 to choose from. Maybe this is going to be another beacon forced, although the phase 6 coming along, so maybe they're not too worried about beaconing quite so much soon. They got VX and Varcher, these 2 Lurks, doing a pretty good job. They haven't died yet, at least. There's which is certainly quite good. There's some good damage from Matsor. He's almost nice from outside, finishes off the lurk. Really, that means the outsider got the kill on the lurk, but Matsor really was the guy that stepped up and killed him there. Really good job. VX and Danny clearing up the guy who was doing a load of damage at ventilation. The Harvester probably will go down, especially if they don't cyst it up. Still not cysted up. There it is. It's too late though. It's dead. Harvester down at ventilation. Reactor core still not even built. Sub-Axis has been killed. Ant are going to be on one Harvester soon, and everything's looking bad for them. Here's Varcher taking on Neza. Here comes Sayet from behind a little bit later. A lot of med packs. Neza gets a nice kill. And the missed pistol. Oh, phenomenal pistol kill. Really good job. Outside at long range. Trying to take on Danny who's on the extractor and VX who's on the lurk just around that position. Danny's going to get the extractor kill. Outsider might finish this lurk off, especially with some backup from Scatter. Danny comes in. Does get a kill. Really good job from him. Phase gates are being done. Probably a phase gate. They've got 2 options. Wow, they've got a lot of options for phase gates at this point. They could just... Wow, they could take reactor core with a phase gate. Come through the glass hallway. This is predictable. So they've got a guy up in reactor core and they've got guys who just built crossroads. That means they're looking to actually converge from glass hallway, getting a phase gate up at reactor core. You've got to find a way to deal with that. They've got 6 extractors built, 1 unbuilt, which is this one at Comp Sub-Axis. They need to go to Comp Lab as well, though. 2 guys could have killed this guy and taken out 2 extractors potentially. It would have been high risk, high value, high reward to do that. But I think they really need to be going for those kind of plays at this point. VX stays a little bit too long, almost gets taken out. They've got the weapons 2, armor 1, no shotguns, the very delayed shotguns. Okay. my bad. They are just unlocking. Welding each other up just outside glass hallway, and at this point with thick and whole glass hallway, this is looking very bad for the aliens. They need glass hallway back or sub-access, and they're struggling on sub-access as well. Oh, good job from Neza, tagging a little kill onto the Danny there, who was somewhere. Maybe in an egg, upgrading something, like maybe grabbing his spare upgrade. They do clear glass hallway though. VX takes way too long, 2v2, but the scope goes down. Scatter takes him out with Outsider's backup. Aitso and Vartija taking out the extractor here. Cat packs. Early cat pack is a sign that the Marines are bored and they want to win, and they know they're winning. They know they're stronger. They know they can take the win. They just need the cat packs. Very nice. How many shotguns is this? We got Neza with the welder out. Maxwell's got a shotgun. Visor hasn't. So we've got a double shotgun play here. Scan goes down. There's the 3 spurs all in one spot. Here comes Neza. He's hunting Danny. Nice one. Here comes Arj from the command chair. And there's no backups. We're finally seeing the reinforcements. This is a defensive reinforcement from the aliens. Really nice shotgun blast. Ah, Matsor and Neza nailing these skulls. And this is looking like a good game. Very well done to clear up the reinforcement wave. Here comes Danny up the respawn. If they can kill him without losing any Marines, they will win this. If they do lose one of the Marines, they need to clean up some of these eggs. There's 0 eggs. Only 1 alien alive. 2 aliens alive now. 3 aliens alive. And oh, this is unfortunate. They could have a good game GG'd that if they'd taken out Danny with that shotgun blast. Nice job from Scatter. He gets a double kill with a rifle pistol combo. Aliens have 0 eggs. VX gets in the chair. Spawns some of those eggs, or at least would do if he knew how. All he's got to do is select the hive and press A. There it is. Oh no, that's a passive one. What is he doing? Oh, just the first thing Arj is going to do is spawn eggs. Okay. Jeez. So aliens, wow, they got a ton of money. They got 60 T-res, but they got nothing. They got 3 spurs, but they got no potential. Phase gate down in ventilation. Matzer and Visor, they just need to get some kills, weld each other up and push into the base, clear up the eggs, maybe go for the spurs if they want, but once the eggs are down, they pretty much egg lock them, and that's going to be a good game for them. Southern side is a strong point for the Marines. Obviously, they only got 1 guy, but they've got a phase gate, which means Scatter comes through. They can get more guys through, and then as soon as the aliens mismatch them out of place... Oh, nice kill from Visor. He goes for the 1 egg that had an alien in it, and then the rest of them, 1 by 1. The aliens are actually spending a lot of money on eggs, so when he kills these eggs, it's costing them a lot of money. There it is. That's what I mean. Base rush is called. I mean, the Marines aren't really going to be too caught out by this. The observatory is going to see it as soon as they get through this section. So they're not going to be too outsmarted by this. The scan goes down, so that's really powerful. I really think the aliens are going to be losing this fight and then the whole game. Really good job. Matzo gets the kill. Visor gets the kill at the back. Here comes Vertige. Doesn't get any significant damage. There it is. Good game is called, just as I say significant for probably the 3rd time today. Good game's called, and that was a really good job from Marines. So I get to catch up with chat at the end of the round. Some of it's usually quite funny. Yeah, I'm a bit disparaging. Like, my expectations are very high for players, and when they don't meet that expectation, I can be a little bit rude. But that's, I think people forgive me for that, because that's just how it is. You know, if you want to win rounds, you got to play well, and if you don't play well, you don't win rounds. And if the round is lost, I sort of have to point out why. So that might be one of the points. So a really good job from Envy to take that 4-0. Obviously, the first round was their weakest round, but they warmed up. They realized they were better than Ant. And I think Ant maybe were very... I mean, if we look at the fact that they lost a couple of their players for that fourth round, maybe they rage quit, maybe they were just a bit tired and didn't want to carry on, that's an indication that maybe they need to work on their team cohesion, some of their mental balance, and stay calm. Maybe, I mean, you go up against a 55-minute round that you lose, that's quite a toll though, so... a couple of things to think about there. Overall, though, I think Envy were just a better team. So good job to the Australians, and nice try from the Europeans. So at this point, we're moving on to another match later on today. So my channel again, that's going to be at 9 PM CEST, which is at 8 PM. So that's 5 hours time. Catch my channel again. We're going to be seeing an even better game. Titus versus Godar. Could be a stomp for Titus, but I really got to hope that Godar have practiced a lot and are now ready to take on these top tier teams that they weren't quite at the NS2WC. So my cast has ended for today. Catch me back in 5 hours, go grab some food or a nap or anything like that, and I will see you guys on the next show. Thank you for joining me.